for a lengthy Watson suspension, explains ESPN's Jake Trotter.
Could that be 8? Could that be 10, 12, the season? I think all of that is on the table. I think if anything above the 10 games for Deshaun Watson, you're looking at the potential of the 2022 season being almost a lost one, just because there is such a difference in talent between Deshaun Watson and then Jacoby Brissett.
Jake Trotter on Barton Hahn. After 11 NFL seasons and 4 Super Bowl championships, tight end Rob Gronkowski announcing his retirement from the NFL. He leaves the game with 92 career touchdowns, his 15 postseason TDs, the most ever by a tight end. NBA Mike D'Antoni set to meet with Hornets owner Michael Jordan today about the team's head coaching job, reports ESPN's Adrian Wojnarowski.
Feeling great starts with a great shave. And great shaves start with Barbasol Shaving Cream. And for a limited time only, capture your Barbasol Jurassic World collector cans before they're gone.
Matt Moscona.
I'm very important.
After further review.
Say it one more time.
After further review with Matt Moscona.
And here we go.
ESPN Baton Rouge, New Orleans, Alexandria. Live from the Mercedes-Benz of Baton Rouge studios.
That's right.
And off we go. Welcome aboard. Glad you're with us. AFR, presented by Insurance Network of Louisiana. I'm Matt.
Love you, Matt.
Paul O'Neill.
They're chanting Paul O'Neill's name.
Yusuf. And Mr. Toby Tomplay. All right, we're here. Glad you are as well. Get out there and make it a good one. The big breaking news around the football world today, Gronk is retiring. Made that official on his social media earlier today with an Instagram post. Detailed how when he was a kid, he had to write a class project on what his dream job would be, and it was not only to be a professional football player, but mentioned that he actually wrote that he wanted to play in Tampa, mostly because of the sun. I guess whenever you grew up in a cold weather state, that's part of the reality. But he got to do that, got to win a Super Bowl there with the Bucs, but for the second time now, Gronk is retiring. And look, I mean, he's a 4-time Super Bowl champion. He's a 4-time first-team All-Pro. He'll be a Hall of Famer on the first ballot. That's not even a question. But for relevance sake, for us, obviously, it's another weapon that Tom Brady won't have. And it's very true that later in his career, Rob Gronkowski was not the Rob Gronkowski that, I mean, obviously he was even pre-injury, but he did help the Bucs on their way to a Super Bowl in 2020. Late in his career at New England, he was just a shell of the giant polar bear that he was during some of those All-Pro seasons. But the injury that came in 2016, he followed it up with a 1,000-yard season in 2017. 2018 was only a by far his least productive non-injury season. He retired for 2019, came back in 2020, and had a season that really mirrored his final one in New England, and actually had better numbers this year than he did in 2021 than he did in 2020. But he's a guy that obviously has other ambitions and wants his health and to spend his money and go have a good time and do other things in life, so you wish him the best. But when you look at, what Tom Brady has now lost as far as his receiving options in Tampa, I mean, Antonio Brown went AWOL. I mean, you talk about the injury to Godwin, Gronk now retiring. That's a legitimate question in Tampa of what that offense will look like. It's still Tom Brady, and I understand that. But how many times can you take away valuable offensive weapons from that dude and expect him to just keep rolling, especially at 45 years old? I mean, that as much as anything, I think, will be ultimately a contributing factor to Tom Brady's regression when it inevitably happens. And maybe it'll be this year. Gronk is retiring from the NFL for the second time, and it feels like this will be the final time. All right, it's after further review. We're glad you're with us here. We'll talk to Maurice Williams in 10 minutes from right now. Maurice Williams, a 4-star safety for the class of 2024. Again, a rising junior in high school. Committed to LSU over the weekend. We'll talk with him in about 10 minutes about the decision, why makes it now, thoughts on the LSU coaching staff, defensive back coaches, and all that sort of stuff. So that's coming up in 10 minutes from right now. You better believe that we are going to continue keeping an eye on the makeup of this LSU baseball roster. And every day it seems like there's some type of development. Yesterday it was twofold, one out, one in. We learned Will Safford went into the portal yesterday, and we also learned that LSU picked up a commitment from Jack Pineda. If you missed it, shortstop from Baylor, 2-year starter there at Baylor, started every game in the last 2 seasons. In 2 seasons, committed only 14 errors, and he hit over 300 both of those seasons. If nothing, I do not think that means Jordan Thompson is leaving. I think what that means is you've brought in someone who's at worst, going to create competition on your infield. At best, you brought in a starting shortstop that's going to solidify that place, maybe kick Jordan Thompson over to third. We talked about that plenty yesterday, and we'll wait and see if there are other developments. But really, for the purposes of this conversation, it's been watching the roster numbers as Jay Johnson is putting this class together now. Or this roster together, I should say, because you've already signed your class. Now you're waiting on the draft. You've already had a handful of guys enter the portal that we know of, and you've added 2 transfers in Dylan Tabrock, the pitcher from Creighton, and now Jack Pineda, the infielder from Baylor. And you've got 20-some-odd players in this signing class that you're now waiting to see what happens in the draft coming up middle of next month. So until that happens, you really don't know how many guys you're going to lose and how many guys from this class are actually going to show up on campus. Well, a little bit of a clearer picture because Keith Law today published his most recent mock draft, his mock draft 2.0 for the Major League Baseball draft, which, again, is coming up next month, the 17th through the 19th. I want to remind you first, though, Jay Johnson on Friday met with the media to sort of put a button on the 2022 season, his first in Baton Rouge. And he talked about the recruiting class in this draft, and he was pretty honest about the assessment of some of these guys just aren't going to show up, and he knows it.
The draft being late, I mean, I'll give you my opinion, is horrendous for us as coaches in college baseball. We have a lot of balls in the air right now. Let's just call it what it is. I mean, you turn on the combine on MLB Network, and there's an LSU recruit, running the 60 or talking on the set or all of that. Like, it's what it is, we'll see what happens with those guys. We've made strong pitches for why we think this is the right way, and it won't ever change my belief that it's better for a player to come do this. I think the thing that changes it sometimes for players is money, and some of those guys are going to get a lot of money, and they're not going to be here. I think there's 4 that have no chance of showing up here next year based on the seasons they have and where they are, and it is what it is.
4. So Jay Johnson's own words. He said, I think there are 4 that are going to get their money and have no shot of being here. So let's see how that sort of correlates with Keith Law's mock draft. He's got Jacob Berry, by the way, at 10. And Keith Law writes, I've heard this is Berry's floor. The Rockies are also linked to Porter, who they could get at pick number 31 with an over-the-slot deal, Crawford, Nito, and Elijah Green if he gets there anyway. So Berry's floor, he writes, is 10. You're not going to see any other current LSU Tigers in the first round this year. The next highest LSU Tiger likely to go is going to be K. Doty, possibly a second-round pick. But you get into the teens, and then you start to see some of these signees. 15th overall is Justin Crawford. That's, of course, Carl Crawford's son. He is an LSU signee. There is no shot he ends up on campus. If he is being mocked, 15 overall, remember, if a player goes in the top 10 rounds, if a player is taken in the top 10 rounds, he's signing. It's just, you've got a deal in place, and that's how it goes. When a scout or whoever it is in that draft room for the team is going down their list, and they call and they say, hey, we're going to take you here. Will you take fill in the blank dollars? And it's a yes or a no. And if it's no, they go on to their next one. And that's how draft day works. So if you hear a player's name called in the first 10 rounds, they're signing. So Crawford at 15, and then one pick later at 16, they've got the Guardians taking Robbie Snelling, the left-handed pitcher out of Reno. So do not expect either of those guys to show up on campus. Crawford, Snelling. The good news, I guess, is that those are the only two LSU signees that Keith Law has in his first round. As we mentioned, he does have Jacob Berry there in round one. This is a good time to remind you, when the season ended, I have the full list of LSU signing class, and I called around to some scouts, and I kind of tried to pry to see what guys actually had a chance to show up on campus, which guys were slam dunks to show up, and which were absolute no's. Well, it's abundantly clear that Justin Crawford is a no, and that Robbie Snelling is going to be a no. That's two of the no's that Jay Johnson talked about. The information I gathered, as best I could, Caleb Appleby, a righty from Wabash Valley Community College, he's a no. Jacob Mizorowski, the righty out of Crowder Community College, he's throwing 100 now. He's a no. Brady Neal, the catcher out of IMG, he is doubtful. Mikey Romero, I was told flatly, no chance. And Tucker Toman, a third baseman out of South Carolina. He's the number one ranked third baseman in South Carolina. He's a perfect game All-American, the number 17 overall prospect by perfect game. It is unlikely he shows up either. So that's the short list of players that you are likely never going to see play in the purple and gold. Everybody else is either an absolute yes or you got a shot. So you'll see how the draft plays out. But until then, Jay Johnson and his, well, I was going to say his staff. You don't have a staff right now, but Jay Johnson will be sitting in his office over there sweating it out till the draft comes and goes and trying to figure it out here through the portal. All right, it's After Further Review. We're brought to you by Hudco Roofing, HudcoRoofing.com. Do business with someone you know. Hudco Roofing, HudcoRoofing.com. Tell you about it every single day. That's me. That's Ryan Terrio. That's Richard Tilley. That's our partners. I don't just endorse Hudco, but I'm a partner in Hudco and so proud to be in that venture. If you'd like, I can help facilitate your deal personally. You can always email me, matt@hudcoroofing.com, M-A-T-T, matt@hudcoroofing.com. If it's a commercial job or a residential job, if it's shingle, if it's TPO, if it's metal, doesn't matter. If it's a small repair or the biggest roof replacement job you can imagine, even new construction, if it deals with your roof, we deal with it. It's Hudco Roofing and HudcoRoofing.com. Do business with someone you know. Give us a shout. If you'd rather, you can always just log onto the website, hit the contact form in the top right. If you'd rather not talk to someone, you could do that. You can fill out the contact form. You'll be immediately populated in our system. We'll be in touch with you to set up an inspection. Or you can always call at Hudco Roofing, 364-1007, 364-1007, or HudcoRoofing.com. All right, it's After Further Review. Quick break. When we come back, Maurice Williams, 4-star commitment for the class of 2024 for LSU football. He joins us next. It's AFR.
AFR.
My own people call me an Uncle Tom. I play music. Been wined and dined by royalty. Trying to bring people together. All people. But regardless of all that kind of stuff, I'm still Louis Armstrong.
Here's the man you're waiting for, the king of jazz, Louis Satchmo Armstrong.
I've been doing business with Luba for 25 years. They're dependable, trustworthy. It's just the attention to detail with our clients.
Our folks have years and years of experience. They're highly trained professionals, but many companies have that asset. What I'd like to think makes Luba a bit different is that we use those talents in a way that truly is dedicated to serving the needs of the folks who depend on us.
There it is, the extra mile, on the border of expected and extraordinary for those willing to go further, like vans customized for work or play, with safety and tech to keep you connected, supported by a 5-star sales, service, and finance team, and backed by the 1-star you know. So go the extra mile. It's never crowded, because so few have what it takes to go there. Mercedes-Benz Vans.
This isn't just another day. it's so much more. Kelly's life was put on hold when her auctioneer primary care doctor discovered a rare blood disorder. Her doctor connected her to an auctioneer care team of cancer, heart, and kidney specialists. With multiple primary care locations around Baton Rouge, same-day appointments, and online scheduling, we're relentless about keeping you healthy. Auctioneer Baton Rouge, innovating healthcare for Kelly.
If you're in an accident, a car accident, a slip and fall where you're injured, you need to call an attorney. The defendant insurance company, it's their goal to close the case as quickly as possible and pay out the least amount of money as possible. That's why it's important to call an attorney and call the law office of O.C. Brown.
At the law office of O.C. Brown, we're a family-owned firm. We want to be your law firm for a lifetime.
Gulf Coast Office Products is a nationally recognized Savin office equipment dealer based right here in Louisiana. Over 100 employees strong, Gulf Coast has the boots on the ground to support all vertical markets, from education, engineering, legal, and finance. With the latest in office technology, from desktop to production segment units, Gulf Coast and Savin have the perfect fit for you. Call 225-756-2644. That's 756-2644 for Gulf Coast Office Products.
ServiceMaster Elite create clean, disinfected work environments. As a local business, we take pride in serving the New Orleans and Baton Rouge areas. Our cleaning protocols follow CDC and OSHA standards for healthcare settings, offices, senior living, restaurants, and industrial plants. Contact ServiceMaster Elite to get your operation ready for reopening with germ disinfection cleaning. ServiceMaster Elite, the trusted choice in professional cleaning since 1996.
It's no secret, the best oysters in Baton Rouge are at Jolie Pearl Oyster Bar. Enjoy mouth-watering South Louisiana flavor and oysters from all over the country. And don't forget our nightly drink specials. Jolie Pearl Oyster Bar.
After further review with Matt Moscona, presented by Insurance Network of Louisiana. Call for a free quote to see how much you can save. 293-0450. After further review with Matt Moscona, ESPN Baton Rouge, New Orleans, Alexandria.
All right, Brian Kelly and his staff got a jump start on the 2024 class when they got a commitment over the weekend from four-star safety Maurice Williams out of Shadow Creek High School. That's down there in Pearland. Oddly enough, I've actually stayed in Shadow Creek before. I have some friends that live there, so not too far. Now, Maurice Williams is good enough to join us here for a couple of minutes on AFR. Maurice, we appreciate it, man. How are you?
Good, good. How are you?
Man, I'm doing fantastic. All right, we've got a lot of ground to cover. Let's just start with sort of the why. Why did you decide to make the decision to pull the trigger on LSU so early in your recruitment?
Because, DB has a great history of DBs. That's kind of like a dream school really for any DB. They had the most draft picks at the DB position in the last 10 years with 16 draft picks over all the other schools. So that had a big role to play in our decision.
Man, so wait, you said our decision, and I know you made the decision over the weekend. It was Father's Day weekend. I actually saw your dad shared a tweet as well, congratulating you, and you tagged him. So
yes,
if you would just kind of fill us in a little bit about that, like how much of a factor was family in this decision? Who else kind of helped you along that way?
It was most of my parents, my mom, my dad, who came together and made the decision, who helped me come together and make the decision. But ultimately, it was my choice, of course. They helped and gave their input and said that they liked this school. So we just came to the conclusion like this could be home.
You know what's interesting is you could tell LSU's got those numbers, right? I mean, you did your homework and you know about LSU and DBU and the background and everything. But it's also a new staff. Yeah. So we're all kind of learning a little bit together, what it's going to be like, what this staff will focus on. So what did you have any previous contact with the former staff?
No, sir. I didn't have any contact with the former staff. It was the new staff that I started with that I got offered by.
So so let's kind of talk about that process a little bit. So walk us through how that first contact was made. Did they invite you to camp, or did you reach out? How does that start?
I kind of reached out to them, and then they said, well, they were trying to reach out to me, but they can't really contact me or call me. So they came through my school. My coaches sent me their number. I gave them a call, and then they told me how interested they were in me, and then that they wanted to see me in person. And then they finally, I guess, they pulled the trigger on me and went with the offer. And then not that long, probably like a week after, the same weekend, we went up there for a visit, which was the first time we went up there, and it was great. I got to meet all the coaches, the staff, and I didn't get to meet the head coach yet at that visit, but I got a chance to meet him on this visit.
Yeah, there's a really cool picture that we're showing right now on TV of you and Brian Kelly. And who's there? Who's there with you in the picture?
My little brother, Messiah, and my dad.
So what signing class will Messiah be in? We got to do the math real quick.
I don't really even. I'm not even sure. Probably something 30.
Just get those purple and gold bloodlines rolling, man.
Yeah.
Hey, so who did you have contact with on set? Was it Coach Cooks and Coach Steeples, or someone else in the recruiting staff?
Yeah, that's who it was, Coach Cooks. Yes, sir.
Okay, so tell us a little bit about your relationship with Coach Cooks and what it was like being recruited by him.
We kind of had that Texas connection. Coach Cooks is from Dallas, so we kind of instantly clicked. We already had that connection and that similarity.
We're talking to Maurice Williams, LSU commitment for the class of 2024, is a 4-star safety, the number one safety in the state of Texas. So, when did you feel like you were comfortable making the decision? Like, when did you know that this was going to be your choice?
When we had to talk with Coach Kelly, he kind of that was kind of just really what we were waiting on. We wanted to build a relationship with Coach Kelly, see what type of coach he was, see if we could vibe with him, and we most definitely did.
What I would assume, look, there's a long way to go till signing day of 2024, but I would assume that this is a solid commitment.
Yes, sir.
So,
most definitely.
So do you sort of flip and turn into a recruiter for LSU for the 2024 class? Like, do you know a lot of the guys in the class?
Yes, sir. Most definitely. That's kind of what I've been trying to do, trying to get them get over there, so we can try to build something new at LSU. So,
all right, man,
build it with people that I know. Build it with people that I know that's gonna come there and be ready to play immediately. So that's kind of what I've been trying to do these past few days.
Gotcha, man. So give me some names. Who are the guys? Who are the guys that you know that you're trying to get on campus?
I've been trying to get Jelani Watkins. He's from Texas. He's from Houston at Klein Forest. I'm trying to get him to come along. I don't really know where he's at in the recruiting. I'm not gonna say that he's going to, but that's just someone that I'm talking to. And a few more unrated kids that I know that's really like that, but they're probably slept on. So I'm trying to get them to get from under the radar to get to open the college's eyes on some of these cats.
It's funny how that happens sometimes, man. But when you're a high school, so you're going into your junior year, man. A lot of guys will develop physically as they get older, and that ranking will come. And for you have the opportunity to climb even higher, even though you're already a top 100 national player. So if I asked you, all right, at this point in your career, just going into your junior year of high school, do you model your game after somebody else? I mean, dude, you're 6 foot 190. Is what you're listed at. I mean, is that about where you are right now?
Yes, sir.
I mean, dude, as a rising junior in high school, that's a massive defensive back. So who do you play like?
I kind of try to. Trophy Polamalu was always my favorite player, even when I wasn't playing safety. Just when I first started playing football, he was the first person I seen play on live TV. So, and of course, he was on the Madden cover and all that. So at the time, I was playing Madden, and then so Trophy Polamalu really just grew to be my favorite player. And then it so happened that I became a safety in high school, and now I just try to watch his game and try to resemble it as much as I can.
You know, it's funny you said, man, because like we're watching your highlights right now. Paul, you can pull that back up if you would. Like all of the plays are like run stuffing. I mean, you're like tackling guys on special teams. I mean, is that how you sort of see yourself as like a physical at the line of scrimmage type box safety?
I kind of want to be a hybrid. That's what I'm doing this year. My first 2 years, that's what I play. I play rover. I play more in the box. But now that I'm older, I got a chance to play free, which is what I'm going to be playing for the next 2 years. So I want to show that I can play both, be in the box, play up high, play free, cover some guys. And I just want to – okay, thank you.
That's our pleasure. That is Maurice Williams. Y'all be sure to follow him on all the social media. He's on Twitter, Instagram. Give him a shout-out. I mean, you know, that's – sometimes I don't know that we always think about this, but for a guy that's just finished his sophomore year of high school, to do a live radio interview, it's not the easiest thing in the world. I mean, for some adults, pro athletes, it's not the easiest thing in the world for him to do. But for a guy that's just finished his sophomore year of high school, rising junior, to do a live radio interview, carry himself like that, I thought that was really good. So stand-up guy there. Congrats to Maurice Williams. Said his mom and his dad were in on the decision, made the pick. He were in town, his little brother as well, for a visit, went through camp and everything like that. He had his offer, met with Coach Kelly, and then decided to commit. So I know we talked about it already yesterday, but you know, when you start to look ahead, that's 2 safeties committed for the class of 2023, and now already Maurice Williams is safety committed for 2024. You know, of the 9 safety/defensive backs that LSU currently has on the roster, you know, there's a realistic possibility you lose 6 of them after this year. So you are going to have to rebuild that position moving through 2023 and 2024 and beyond. So congrats to Maurice Williams on his commitment to LSU. But it's after further review. Glad to have you hanging out with us here. We're not going to break, and we'll go around the SEC. God, it's storming outside. I didn't know it was supposed to rain today, but I can even hear it in here. So if y'all are driving around and you are in bad weather, buckle up, headlights on, wipers on, be safe. Just slow down. We got you. We're here till 6 o'clock, so hang out with us. We appreciate you for being here with us. All right, it's after further review. Let me knock out a quick break. We'll go around the SEC, get you caught up on what's going on in Omaha as well. It's AFR.
AFR.
You know, normally I bring my lunch every day, and I just forgot it today. And so I needed something. I jetted over to Rouse's. Rouse's right there on Burbank and Lee. When you walk into Rouse's, you go to the left. They've got all the different kiosks. They have the hot and boiled kiosk. I ended up getting it was sort of a light Asian sort of bowl dish. It was fantastic. Whatever it is that you're looking for. I mean, they have, you know, fried chicken. You can make a plate. They got a salad bar. So if you need lunch, I mean, Rouse's is always a great place to grab and go and get something quickly for lunch or for dinner. Rouse's, the official supermarket of the New Orleans Saints. Rouse's.com to find that location nearest you. Of course, you got everything. I mean, you walk in the store, you look to the right, it's all the grocery stuff. You walk in, look to the left, that's where you'll find the butcher, the baker. Not a candlestick maker. Sorry, it was a lame. That was dad. I'm so dad jokey now, aren't I? That was a dad joke, wasn't it? When did I cross the line to being just lame old dad joke guy? Rouse's, the official supermarket of the New Orleans Saints. Rouse's.com.
Bayou Ford has $10,000 off new Ford F-150s. We have new 2021 F-150s on our lot now with $10,000 off MSRP. And all new Bayou Ford vehicles come with a 1 million mile powertrain warranty. If you need sales or service, the crew at Bayou is going to do right by you.
Join 100.7 The Tiger and Our Lady of the Lake Ascension Saturday, June 25th at the Lamar Dixon Expo Center in Gonzales.
Enjoy live music from Ted Durr, Mike Broussard and the Night Train, and Jamie Badron and the Kickin' Cajuns. Make sure you grab a delicious plate of jambalaya from the Mike Ward's Liberty Safes Jambalaya Cook-Off to raise money for the Alzheimer's services of the capital area.
The Swamp Pop Music Festival with Supreme Chevrolet.
Louisiana's country station.
100.7 The Tiger.
This is a house call. This is a follow-up appointment. This is a diabetes checkup. This isn't just more convenient care, it's more advanced care. This is innovating healthcare at Louisiana's #1 hospital, Auctioner.
Eli's always been into grilling. It took us a while to see it, but the signs were there.
What are you doing, Eli?
I knew grilling was my thing. I have been talking about it throughout my career.
Happy with the results?
I am. Got the new grill from barbecueguys.com. It performed great.
My advice, as I always told my boys,
do more of what you're born to do.
Barbecue Guys, for those who were born to grill.
You want cheese on your burger, Pops?
I'll take a little cheese.
Crime has serious consequences, but anyone can make a mistake. If you find yourself in trouble with the law, know that you have rights, and it's okay to demand them. The law offices of O.C. Brown are here to protect you and your rights. Felony or misdemeanor, DUI or drug charge. No matter what crime you're accused of, you still have rights. Let the law offices of O.C. Brown uphold them. Call 225-343-1111.
If you really want more, scream it out louder. Keep it on the floor, bring out the fire, and light it up, take it up higher.
After further review with Matt Moscona, presented by Insurance Network of Louisiana, call for a free quote to see how much you can save. 293-0450. After further review with Matt Moscona, ESPN Baton Rouge, New Orleans, Alexandria.
104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge wants to recognize a member of our community with an honorary ESPN ESPY Award. This year, the ESPYs are celebrating the 50th anniversary of Title IX, and we are looking for local athletes, administrators, or community volunteers who actively work to expand access to sports for girls. Visit 1045ESPN.com now through Wednesday, July 6th to submit a nomination. We'll name our ESPY recipient on Wednesday, July 13th. Then tune in to the ESPYs, presented by Capital One on Saturday, July 20th at 7 p.m. on WBRZ TV.
Hey, Muso.
Hey, Scott.
Got an email from Greg Lane.
Greg Lane, how's it going?
Apparently he was listening to Early Line.
Okay.
He said, hey, Matt, Muso was speaking about his vacation to Colorado next week.
That's not at all.
Understand
No.
he feels it will be a smoking vacation.
Greg, while I appreciate you listening to Early Line,
Paulie. Hey.
I'm going to Destin, not Colorado.
Oh, I thought Muso was planning a little trip out west, huh, Paulie?
I thought he was too.
Why do you think he might want to go to Colorado over there?
We know why.
There's a dispensary on every corner. I tell you what.
What kind of dispensary?
Sometimes you just make it too easy, Muse. You start
I
planning.
didn't even say that. What are you talking about? I'm going to the beach.
When you're
family beach trip, Matt.
You know, when you're going to the birthplace of God dog, I'm blanking right now. The Rastafarian guy, Bob Marley. Going to the birthplace of Bob would have been way better had I just been able to roll it. Let me try it again. Yeah, Muse.
Don't get a redo when you're just trying to troll me. That's not how this
going to
works.
the birthplace of Bob Marley, eh, Muse? Huh? Probably Jamaica, I would think, right?
Yeah, I mean, why would it be Colorado?
No, that's not.
Yeah.
That's not Colorado. Jamaica and Colorado are not the same thing.
Very different, very different.
I know, but Colorado, you can get
Wouldn't
your
know, I'm
apples.
not going there.
Okay. It's a little Muse. Texas A&M is blanking Notre Dame right now, 5-0 there in Omaha. It's an elimination game. And then you'll have Auburn and Arkansas tonight in the second elimination game of the day. Ole Miss and Oklahoma sitting pretty right now on their respective sides of the bracket. Ole Miss just pummeled Arkansas last night. How about the Otter? Otter last night gave you a money line pick on Ole Miss. And how about Colucci gave you Tampa Bay last night. Couple of rocking chair covers. I tell you, these guys are just trying to pay for your kids' college. I mean, if you're not listening to Otter Locks at the end of the show, I don't know what to tell you. I mean, Otter has hit his stride in MLB and in baseball. That's fair to say. He has really hit his stride here. Football, yeah, it's a little bit tougher, play once a week sort of thing. But I don't have like a running tally from Otter locks from the football season. But you know what I want to do? I want to like start a challenge where like I take $1 and I just make every bet that Jimmy gives us and see how much I can make the dollar grow over the course of a year.
Oh, that's an interesting concept.
I guess start with like 10-cent bets or something like that, or 20-cent bets, and then or $100. Whatever. I mean, we can do whatever. Start with $100, do $10 bets or $20 bets, and then as you hit a certain benchmark, you grow the bets, however it may be.
That could be fun.
Yeah.
I mean, you'd be doing real well right now.
I know.
When you're hot, you're hot.
What would be this is a good idea. Like, give me some feedback on that idea. Let me, I'm sure that can't be a unique idea. Someone has to have thought of that, done that before. But let me know or when we start. I mean, I guess I could start, when we get back, say like July 1 to
All-Star break?
The only thing about that is now I'm thinking of it because we'll be gone for SEC Media Days. But I guess, look, and that's around the All-Star break too. But I guess I could, I don't know. Let me think about it. Give me some feedback. Email me. Jump in the Bayou Ford YouTube chat, or you tweet me at Matt Moscona.
Hey, Twitter world.
Or you can text me in the 225-396-4400, 396-4400. But if you're going to make those bets, make them at the DraftKings Sportsbook app. Of course, download the DraftKings Sportsbook app. Use the promo code Baton Rouge right now for the Stanley Cup Finals. Of course, DraftKings, an official sports betting partner of the Stanley Cup Finals. Bet just $5 on any of the Stanley Cup Finals games. No matter who wins, they'll give you $100 in free bets. Last night about 7:20, my dad texted me. He's like, hey, what's the promo code for DraftKings? I was like, okay, first of all, Dad, it's Baton Rouge. I say it every day on air, multiple times. But first of all, thank you for supporting my sponsor, number one. Number two, it's Baton Rouge is the promo code. It's real easy. And the game started 20 minutes ago, so you're too late. And he was like, dang it. It's all right, don't worry. There will be a Game 4 and certainly a Game 5. So you still have an opportunity. Download the DraftKings Sportsbook app. Use the promo code Baton Rouge. Remember, the promo code is Baton Rouge. And I bet just $5 on a Stanley Cup Finals game. They'll give you $100 in free bets regardless of who wins. That's only at the DraftKings Sportsbook app. 21 and older, physically present in Louisiana. Availability varies by parish. Eligibility restrictions apply. See DraftKings.com/sportsbook for full terms and conditions. Licensee partner Golden Nugget, Lake Charles. Gambling problem? Call 1-877-7-STOP. All right, do it every day about this time. Let's go around the SEC.
Around the SEC, presented by Gulf Coast Office Products. Excellence in imaging solutions. The Ole Miss Rebels.
All right, we told you Ole Miss, joined by Oklahoma, the only unbeaten teams in the College World Series right now. So Ole Miss 1 win shy of reaching the best-of-3 championship series. But the Rebs won't know yet who they play on Wednesday until tonight's game. They'll play the winner of Arkansas against Auburn. But there's a lot of speculation it'll be Derek Diamond, the junior righty, that'll take the mound for the Rebs. Mike Bianco said on Tuesday, quote, "We don't know yet. We'll wait to find out who we play first." Diamond, of course, started the season as Ole Miss's Friday night guy, had a lot of struggles. He's 4-4 with an opponent batting average. I'm sorry, his ERA is 6.89. Be better if it was 3.69, right? Damn sure fine. Baby, come and sock it to me one more time. Get low. Get low. How many dad jokes? Bad, awkward, just very, very uncool dad jokes can I work into this hour?
Well, you're at 2.
At least. Were you saying that Get Low is not a good song?
It's a great song. That's exactly what I'm saying. It's not a good song. It's a great song.
Sound like
The Georgia Bulldogs.
C.J. Allen, 4-star linebacker. He committed to Georgia Monday evening. Allen's the 12th member of Georgia's 2023 recruiting class. 6'1", 226-pound senior. He has also already agreed to play in the All-American Bowl in San Antonio.
The Alabama Crimson Tide.
Bama got a commit from Wilkin Formby. Wilkin, can we call Sharief? I don't know if Wilkin Formby qualifies. Yeah, you dropped it. That's what you get for throwing it back at me, you jerk. Let's call Sharief.
You started it.
Wilkin Formby. He's a 4-star offensive lineman, number 83 overall recruit in the country, the 10th player of the state of Alabama, picked Bama over Tennessee, Oklahoma, Auburn, Ole Miss. 6'7", 295. He's an offensive lineman. Formby's grandfather played for Bear Bryant. So he's a legacy. He's a big old dude, 4-star. Anyway, Wilkin Formby. We're going to call Sharief in a minute. I need a ruling on that one.
The Arkansas Razorbacks.
And how about this? Members of the Arkansas football team took to Twitter on Tuesday to announce the launch of the Fayetteville NIL Club. These players are hoping to give fans unique access to players, as many of them posted in the same statement all simultaneously this morning. More details on the club and its happenings will come out as the season approaches. But basically, Arkansas football players kind of forming their own collective. Just, hey, pay us money. All right, there you have it. That is Round the SEC, presented by Gulf Coast Office Products. Shout out to our guy, Trey Beal, and our friends at Gulf Coast Office Products. They're online at gcopnet.com. gcopnet.com for Gulf Coast Office Products. Face-to-face sales service after the sale. That's what you get at Gulf Coast Office Products. Don't turn your back on me, Muse. gcopnet.com. The official office equipment provider of the LSU Tigers, the New Orleans Saints, the New Orleans Pelicans, and the ULL Raging Cajuns. That's Gulf Coast Office Product. Any word from Sharief?
He didn't answer, but I texted him.
Okay. He probably didn't. Okay. I got our poll question, our Citizens Bank poll question of the day. Do you answer the phone if you don't know the number?
Oh.
Because I think with so much telemarketing now, and just the advent of text as well, nobody talks on the phone anymore. Like, I never answer the phone. If I don't know the number, I don't answer it, right?
I'm with you. No, if it's my thing is, if it's really important, you'll leave a message. Like, if you really need me, you'll leave a message.
I learned this from, if you ever call my cell. Oh, it's ringing. It's ringing. That's him. Got to be. No doubt. Ah! Got him. All right, bring him up. All right, this is that no-talent Sharief Ishaq, a TV broadcaster down in New Orleans. I have still no idea why anybody hired him to do any type of broadcast media, but alas, it's 2022, and there's a lot of questions that we don't really have much understanding to in life. But there's one thing for which I think we will defer to Sharief, and that is fratastic names. Sharief, how are you?
I'm doing better than you, as usual.
Yeah, I really don't care how you're doing. I just felt like I had to be polite for the audience, and you're not doing better than me. It's a literal impossibility. I'm leaving on Thursday to go to New York. Going to have a long weekend there. I'm going to watch the Yankees play. Going to have some
garbage team.
The garbage team, which, by the way, is on pace to win more games than any in the history of Major League Baseball, which, by the way, when you and I were at LSU together, you're one of the clowns that just started in 2004 walking around with a Red Sox hat after they came back from a 3-1 deficit.
98.
That's not wrong. It's not 98. That's bullcrap. Don't give me your no more nonsense. I've heard you say it before, and you're friggin' lying.
No.
I've known you long enough to know that you're a bandwagoner, just like Muse, who never knew a damn thing about the Red Sox until 2004. Muso was in a friggin' diaper and never knew anything bad ever happened to that franchise. All you've ever had is glory days with that franchise. So don't even bother. I don't want to hear it. All right.
Stop wasting my time with your Tennessee Yankees. Hurry up.
Hey, the issue at hand, which I'm trying to get to, you're the one who sent us derailing with the garbage franchise thing. Okay, got a name for you. This is a 4-star commit from Alabama to the University of Alabama football program. He's a 6'7", 295-pound offensive lineman. He's a legacy. His grandfather played for Bear Bryant. His name is Wilkin Formby, Wilkin Formby. Wilkin Formby. How frat is it?
You've given me like 3 straight great names that are really 4-star recruit, but gets a 5-star on the name. You've become really good. You're not wasting my time with the names lately. You've come with 3 straight 5-star names. And by the way, I told you the next time I would come on here, I'd tell you the 5 tool traits for the 5-tool player for my name thing. Good first and last name.
Mm-hmm.
Smart, ability to play, great hair, and great looks. There's only been one person to fulfill all 5, the 5 tools.
Who is it?
Dansby Swanson.
Oh, now that is a good one. You see, this is why we go to it. There's literally nothing else that for which I would ever call Sharief. There's just
5-tool player.
He's just not an expert on any other thing except this one very weird niche that I kind of find fascinating. So we're giving Wilkin Formby a 5-star rating, and I'll tell you, I just have this reader, so I don't even have a picture of Wilkin Formby. I can't tell you if he has great hair or what was the other thing you said? A 5-tool player.
You got to be the great name, great hair, ability to play, smart.
Oh, wow.
And, good looking.
Look at, well, I'm not going to be the one to determine whether or not Wilkin Formby is good looking. But the hair is something that I think I'm trying to snag. Oh, we are late. I'm trying to snag this picture. Paulie, look up Wilkin Formby. Help me out here. Sharief, you're not watching, right? So you can't see it.
Nope.
All right, let me see. For the benefit of our audience. Oh, here we go. Here he is. Wilkin Formby. There he is. There's Wilkin Formby. How about it? Muse?
I mean, he's got the Bama bangs.
He
That's
has
for sure.
He has the Bama bangs. Yes, sir, he does. Okay.
Just think about it moving forward. The 5 tools. The only one I have so far is Dansby Swanson.
All right. We will keep that in mind most certainly. Sharief, no thank you at all. You're not very good at what you do, but I'm glad that we were able to find the one thing professionally at which you might succeed. So, you're welcome.
Happy to help your failing show. Enjoy the New York Vols.
We'll see you later. That is Sharief Ishaq with the dismount. It's AFR.
AFR.
Brought to you by the Baton Rouge General Hospital, brgeneral.org, brgeneral.org for the Baton Rouge General Hospital. Part of the Mayo Clinic Care Network, and of course, we're at the Baton Rouge General. They've also got their Express Care location. So, log on to brgeneral.org if you're interested. You can find more about the Express Care locations. You can check in online at brgeneral.org, and also you can check wait times. brgeneral.org, brgeneral.org. If you're curious about what services they offer, it's basically everything. brgeneral.org. You've got the Mid-City location. Of course, you've got the Bluebonnet campus. You've got the Ascension Neighborhood Hospital. Everything from cancer services to emergency care, the Heart and Vascular Center. You can deliver your baby there at the Baton Rouge General. Primary care physicians and elective surgery as well. It's the Baton Rouge General Hospital. brgeneral.org for the Baton Rouge General Hospital, part of the Mayo Clinic Care Network.
My own people call me an Uncle Tom. I play music. Been wined and dined by royalty. Trying to bring people together. All people. But regardless of all that kind of stuff, I'm still Louis Armstrong.
Here's the man you're waiting for, the king of jazz, Louis Satchmo Armstrong.
Gulf Coast Bank and Trust is giving our customers the power to bank anywhere, anytime during this challenging event. And we're right there with you. Our mobile banking app is a smart way to manage your money and time. Gulf Coast Bank and Trust, the bank that cares about you.
Bayou Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram has new 2021 Jeep Wranglers and Jeep Gladiators on our lot now with $5,000 off MSRP. And all new Bayou vehicles come with a 1 million mile powertrain warranty. If you need sales or service, the crew at Bayou is going to do right by you.
And this year, 2022, it's time to finally treat yourself. Bring your boat to the next level with front-to-back boat service. You want the latest and greatest marine technology? You want to go to the place that has not one, but two NMEA-certified techs. Family-owned and operated by the Sherman family for 30 years, front-to-back is the answer in Baton Rouge for all of your custom boat needs. So head to fronttobackboatservice.com or find them on Facebook, Front to Back Boat Service.
I've been doing business with Luba for 25 years. They're dependable, trustworthy. It's just the attention to detail with our clients.
Our folks have years and years of experience. They're highly trained professionals, but many companies have that asset. What I'd like to think makes Luba a bit different is that we use those talents in a way that truly is dedicated to serving the needs of the folks who depend on us.
Are you a licensed contractor? There's lots of good contractors in Louisiana doing work the right way, but unfortunately, too many unlicensed contractors are working outside the licensing requirements. Working as a contractor in Louisiana requires a license for the company doing the work. The Louisiana State Licensing Board for Contractors wants to help you get licensed to allow you to conduct work legally. It's not difficult to get the license. We can help you. Go to lacontractor.org for more information.
After further review with Matt Moscona, presented by Insurance Network of Louisiana. Call for a free quote to see how much you can save. 293-0450. After further review with Matt Moscona, ESPN Baton Rouge, New Orleans, Alexandria.
I went longer than expected there with Sharief. We probably should just push into this segment. But anyway, Wilkin Fromby. It was worth it. To get a 5-star name, it was worth it. I'm not sure if you saw this, but Brian Urlacher was a guest on Pat McAfee's show. And this got my attention because I drew one very natural comp to this discussion when Brian Urlacher campaigned for Zach Thomas to be in the Pro Football Hall of Fame.
I'm going to give you one guy who I cannot, this pisses me off. Zach Thomas. How the fuck is Zach Thomas not in the Hall of Fame? Put his stats up with mine, Ray, any other linebacker who's even close to Hall of Fame or been in the Hall of Fame. He's right there with us, if not better.
Why is he not in? You think?
Maybe because he's 5'10". I don't know.
Honestly?
I have no idea. I don't know. I don't get it. It pisses me off every year. I advocate for him to get in, and he was a finalist a couple of years, but they don't put him in. I don't understand it.
So a couple of things. I had never thought of Zach Thomas as a Hall of Famer, and it's probably my own, unintentional bias. The same way that a lot of the guys who he mentioned have it as well. But it's not even the comp. Isn't Ray Lewis or Brian Urlacher? The comp is Sam Mills. Of course, the late Sam Mills, who has been elected posthumously to the Pro Football Hall of Fame. Get this. Sam Mills played 12 years in the NFL. Zach Thomas played 12 years in the NFL. Sam Mills had 1,265 tackles. Zach Thomas had 1,727 tackles. Zach Thomas had 400 more tackles in the same amount of time than Sam Mills, Hall of Famer, by the way. Zach Thomas was an 8-time Pro Bowler. Sam Mills, 5. Zach Thomas was a 5-time All-Pro selection. Sam Mills, 3, and only one of those is first team. And Zach Thomas on the All-Decades team for the 2000s. There is no good gosh darn reason why Zach Thomas isn't in the Pro Football Hall of Fame. I'm as guilty as any. And every year when we talk about the Hall of Fame, it comes back to this because when you have a finite amount, a cap, the number of electees every year, there are going to be people that just have to wait their turn. But it's been long enough for Zach Thomas. I'm with Brian Urlacher. Good for him for banging that drum because Zach Thomas has been robbed now for a decade. And he retired after the 2008 season. I mean, he's been eligible for a decade now. And it's a shame that he's not in the Pro Football Hall of Fame. And hopefully one day he does. Again, this is not to discredit Sam Mills. This is to say, by comparison, how is Zach Thomas not a Hall of Famer? He should be, and hopefully he will be. All right, it's after further review. SportsCenter's coming up. Going to get caught up on national headlines. Speaking of course, Sam Mills, former Saint. We'll talk about these Saints. The NFL Network has taken a stab at picking game by game the results for the Saints this year. I want to go through it. I'm not sure I necessarily agree.
AFR.
Put a button here on hour number 1. Let me remind you about GMFS Mortgage and GMFSmortgage.com. You all probably saw the news last week. The Fed bumped interest rates again by about 0.75 points. But that's not going to be the end of it, y'all. If you watch the news, if you've been paying attention, rates are going to continue going up. So a couple of things to keep in mind. Number one, if you're thinking of buying a home, man, call GMFS Mortgage now. Don't wait for rates to go even higher. Allow your dollar to go further to get you more home. Get pre-qualified today. Call GMFS Mortgage, talk to a local loan officer, get pre-qualified to see how much home you can afford to buy. Don't go shopping for a home until you know how much home you can shop for. GMFS Mortgage can help. And look, if you do buy while rates are high, no worries. Eventually they'll settle, and then you can refinance when rates are good again. It's GMFS Mortgage. GMFSmortgage.com. GMFS Mortgage.
Bayou Ford has $10,000 off new Ford F-150s. We have new 2021 F-150s on our lot now with $10,000 off MSRP. And all new Bayou Ford vehicles come with a 1 million mile powertrain warranty. If you need sales or service, the crew at Bayou is going to do right by you.
Gulf Coast Office Products is a nationally recognized Savin office equipment dealer based right here in Louisiana. Over 100 employees strong, Gulf Coast has the boots on the ground to support all vertical markets from education, engineering, legal, and finance. With the latest in office technology from desktop to production segment units, Gulf Coast and Savin have the perfect fit for you. Call 225-756-2644. That's 756-2644 for Gulf Coast Office Products.
ServiceMaster Elite create clean, disinfected work environments. As a local business, we take pride in serving the New Orleans and Baton Rouge areas. Our cleaning protocols follow CDC and OSHA standards for healthcare settings, offices, senior living, restaurants, and industrial plants. Contact ServiceMaster Elite to get your operation ready for reopening with germ disinfection cleaning. ServiceMaster Elite, the trusted choice in professional cleaning since 1996.
It's no secret. The best oysters in Baton Rouge are at Jolie Pearl Oyster Bar. Enjoy mouth-watering South Louisiana flavor and oysters from all over the country. And don't forget our nightly drink specials. Jolie Pearl Oyster Bar, located in downtown Baton Rouge.
Join 100.7 The Tiger and Our Lady of the Lake Ascension Saturday, June 25th at the Lamar Dixon Expo Center in Gonzales.
Enjoy live music from Ted Durr, Mike Broussard and the Night Train, and Jamie Badron and the Kickin' Cajuns. Make sure you grab a delicious plate of jambalaya from the Mike Ward's Liberty Safes Jambalaya Cook-Off to raise money for the Alzheimer's services of the capital area.
The Swamp Pop Music Festival with Supreme Chevrolet.
Louisiana's country station.
100.7 The Tiger.
This is a house call. This is a follow-up appointment. This is a diabetes checkup. This isn't just more convenient care, it's more advanced care. This is innovating healthcare at Louisiana's #1 hospital, Ochsner.
This is SportsCenter.
I'm Christine Lisi. Four-time All-Pro tight end Rob Gronkowski announced his retirement from football after 11 NFL seasons and 4 Super Bowl championships. However, Gronkowski's agent told ESPN's Adam Schefter he wouldn't be surprised if Gronk's coaxed out of retirement for a second time by longtime teammate Buccaneers quarterback Tom Brady. ESPN's Robert Griffin III agrees.
I'm more than sure if Brady really needed it and picked up the phone the first week of the playoffs, segment of the playoffs, and he called Gronk, Gronk would come running excitingly to come back and play. So I just think for me, With Gronk, the Bucks were the favorite. Without him, they're just another contender. And I think it'll really show up as you get later and later in the season when Brady doesn't have his security blanket anymore.
The attorney representing the women who accused Browns quarterback Deshaun Watson of sexual misconduct said 20 of the 24 civil lawsuits filed against him have been settled. NFL spokesman Brian McCarthy said today's development has no impact on the collectively bargained disciplinary process. Attorney Tony Busby said he plans to try the 4 unsettled lawsuits in court. Rockets guard John Wall exercised his $47 million option for this upcoming NBA season.
Think O'Reilly Auto Parts for all of your car care needs. We're close, convenient, and known for our guaranteed everyday low prices and excellent customer service from professional parts people you can trust. Stop by your local O'Reilly Auto Parts today. O'Reilly Auto Parts. Better parts, better prices every day.
Matt Moscona.
I'm very important.
After further review.
Say it one more time.
After further review with Matt Moscona.
And here we go.
ESPN Baton Rouge, New Orleans, Alexandria. Live from the Mercedes-Benz of Baton Rouge studios.
That's right.
Hour 2, off we go. Welcome aboard. Glad you're with us. AFR, presented by Insurance Network of Louisiana. I'm Matt. I am sweating. Paul O'Neill.
They're chanting Paul O'Neill's name.
And Mr. Toby Tomplay. All right, we're here. Glad you are as well. Get out there, make it a good one. Talk some beer with Feinswog in about 15 minutes from right now. Aggies are 6 outs away from eliminating Notre Dame and advancing in the College World Series. They would have to, in turn, beat Oklahoma twice to advance to the championship series. The nightcap tonight, Arkansas and Auburn will play. The loser eliminated. The winner will have to beat Ole Miss twice to advance to the championship series. So Notre Dame is actually now on the board. Solo homer to open the 8th inning there for the Irish, and it's a 5-1 lead for the Aggies as Notre Dame tries to chip away. We'll keep you posted there as that one goes along. When the NFL schedule came out, we went through, I think everybody does this, right? It's what everybody in media does when the schedule is released. You go game by game and you make your picks. So we did that when the NFL schedule was released a little more than a month ago, and I picked the Saints 10-7. Now, the caveat is always I reserve the right to change my mind based on things that happen. Clearly, if you were making a prediction on Tampa Bay, had Tom Brady stayed retired, your perception of Tampa Bay is going to be drastically different. If you're trying to make a projection on the Cleveland Browns, Deshaun Watson's status is the determining factor on how you're going to pick them to do this year. So you always reserve the right to change your mind based on other variables that may pop up at some point along the way. But I picked the Saints 10-7, and I think they are a playoff team. Adam Rank of the NFL Network did a prediction of all 32 teams, went game by game and did his prediction for all 32 teams. And he picked the Saints 8-9 and went game by game. There's a couple spots where I disagree, like a home loss to the Raiders. You can go check it out if you want to. But this was sort of the explanation at the end of why he landed where he did.
We're going to go loss against the Philadelphia Eagles before they close out with a win over the Carolina Panthers to finish 8-9. Here's the best case scenario. Jameis Winston develops and this team doesn't miss a single beat. But the worst case scenario for me is the one that I talked about right up here off the top. Sean Payton, very good at his job. There's a thing about, hey, listen, the system hasn't changed, but you know what? When you change the coach like that in a very tough division, even though they defeated the Tampa Bay Buccaneers and have that mastery of it, I don't see the New Orleans Saints getting into the playoffs.
Okay, so he has the Saints at 8-9 and essentially says, look at Sean Payton. And earlier in the clip, he mentions 2012, where the Saints had everything aligned. Bounty Gate, but Drew Brees was there. They tried to have everything fall in place where Aaron Cromer was your interim and Joe Vitt, and you all remember how it all played out, and the Saints went 7-9 and literally had the worst defense in the history of the NFL. But even with no Sean Payton, the offense was still very, very good that year with Carmichael calling the plays. It was just you had an awful defense with Steve Spagnuolo. It lasted 1 year. He was fired. Now, it is worth mentioning that Las Vegas has also set the Saints total at 8. So Adam Rank from the NFL Network is right on the number that Las Vegas has set. So the odds makers have the Saints at 8. And perhaps a big reason why the odds makers have put the Saints at 8 is the Sean Payton factor. And I am not discrediting that. Like, I look at this Saints season, and I think a healthy Jameis Winston with Michael Thomas and Jarvis Landry and Chris Olave and Alvin Kamara and a healthy offensive line, they are immediately and exponentially better than they were this year. Even if the Saints aren't a top 5 offense in the NFL, I guarantee you they will not be literally dead last in passing offense. And I still think the defense is going to be very, very good. They will be a top 10, potentially top 5 defense as well. The real question is, how much does it hurt losing Sean Payton? And so I kind of dug into this a little bit. Mark Ingram, after minicamp, Mark Ingram did an interview with the team's website, NewOrleansSaints.com. And this is what he said about Dennis Allen. Again, it was a print interview, so I don't have the audio of it, but I'm going to read this text for you, and you'll kind of get the gist. And this is Mark Ingram, quote, "I think that was huge, keeping the DNA the same," talking about bringing in Dennis Allen. "It's not like a full rebuild here. I think you have a team that can make a lot of noise and make a run. Obviously, we have to improve and get better and gel as a unit, but I think keeping the DNA of the team, the culture of the team the same, I think that's huge. And I think we'll all benefit from it." He talks about how Dennis Allen and Sean Payton are different, but Dennis Allen's done a good job of earning trust and all that stuff. And listen, it of course is worth mentioning that Dennis Allen is the man that turned around the defense from they were atrocious in the Bounty Gate year. Rob Ryan came in. They had a really good 2013 when they were a playoff team, and then they regressed until Dennis Allen came in and made them a top 5 defense. And listen, I've mentioned this plenty as well. The Saints were 9-8 last year. They were a game away from the playoffs. And but for the disaster on Monday Night Football against the Dolphins, where, Sean Payton didn't even know some of the people playing. You started Ian Book on Monday Night Football. And then there's the self-inflicted wounds of letting the game get away against the Giants. But even with all of the injuries, the way it went out, playing 4 different quarterbacks, you were still a game away from the playoffs. My big question, though, that I was like, we see often in college football promoting from within. That is fairly common, where you will see coordinators promoted from within. A head coach leaves, a coordinator's promoted from within. It's very common in college football. It's not as common, obviously, in the NFL, because it's rare that you have a situation in the NFL where a really good head coach leaves. It is literally only the situation that we just saw with Sean Payton. If you're a successful head coach, you don't leave for another NFL head coaching job because there's only 32, and in theory, they're all equal. You don't leave one NFL head coaching job for another. There are scenarios where you see head coaches traded, like when Oakland sent John Gruden to Tampa, but you don't see a coach, quote, leave for a better job. You don't leave Philly for Dallas. Well, that'd be awful for Philly anyway. But anyway, so I started looking at sort of recent and high-profile examples of teams that promoted from within. And by and large, the results really aren't very good. The Cowboys promoted Jason Garrett from within. He was an assistant from 2007 to 2010, and then they named him head coach in 2011. He was the head coach from 11 to 19, and he went to the playoffs 3 times in that span, and he was 2-3 in the playoffs. And then, of course, was let go. Raheem Morris was promoted from within with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. He was an assistant coach there in 2007 and 2008. They promoted him from within to become the head coach in 2009. He was there in 9, 10, and 11. And they were 17 and 31. The most successful example that I could find, and again, I'm not going to tell you that I looked at every single NFL head coaching change ever to see who hired from within. I looked at sort of recent and high-profile examples. The most successful one that I could find was the 49ers with George Seifert. Bill Walsh had won 3 Super Bowls during his time in San Francisco in the 80s, and Seifert was an assistant there from 80 to 88. He was the defensive coordinator, by the way. Sound familiar? George Seifert was your defensive coordinator on an offensive-minded 49ers team, obviously with Bill Walsh, West Coast offense, all that sort of stuff. Walsh retires. Seifert becomes the head coach from 89 to 96 and wins 2 more Super Bowls. That's the most successful example of promoting from within and having great success. And the biggest difference I would tell you, the one that stood out to me, the biggest difference from Jason Garrett, Raheem Morris, even this year, Lovie Smith, the Texans did what the Saints did. The Texans promoted Lovie Smith from within. The biggest difference among those examples and the Niners is the Niners had built a winning culture. The Niners had won Super Bowls. They went out and expected to win every year. So George Seifert was part of a winning culture. Jason Garrett was not part of a winning culture in Dallas. Raheem Morris was not part of a winning culture in Tampa. As a matter of fact, he was part of a disastrous culture in Tampa. Lovie Smith has not been part of a winning culture in Houston with the Texans. This was a heinous year in Houston with the Deshaun Watson situation and guys choosing not to play. If you had to look at Dennis Allen and say which one does it most closely resemble, it's the Niners. Now, look, I get it. The Niners had won 3 Super Bowls in the 80s when George Seifert got the head coaching job. But the Saints, under Sean Payton, and certainly in the last half decade with Payton and Dennis Allen, have been right there behind Kansas City as the winningest team in the NFL in that stretch. Now, they haven't had the postseason success. I get it. And part of the Saints' legacy, this era of Saints football, is going to be defined by heartbreaking postseason exits. That's undeniable. We don't need to go down that road, but you know them all. But it does stand to reason that what Mark Ingram talked about, the DNA being there, the culture being there, matters. Because you don't often see it. You don't often see this. Successful head coaches in the NFL don't just walk away. And at times when you have seen successful coaches leave, like Bill Cowher leaving Pittsburgh, they didn't promote from within. They hired Mike Tomlin. Now, he's gone and been incredible. He's a Hall of Famer. But they didn't promote from within. So it's rare that you have an example of a successful franchise, the successful head coach stepping aside, promoting from within, and carrying on that success. If Dennis Allen can be essentially what George Seifert was to the 49ers, I think you have potentially a decade-long run of great success in New Orleans under Dennis Allen, which I would love to see that parallel play out that way. All right, it's after further review. Quick break. Lee Fwog joins us next. Stick around.
AFR.
Y'all, I'm so thankful. The response, as I've been telling you about Schutz Electric and their home standby generators, has been awesome. They've been flooded with calls, and a big part of that is a couple things I tell you about. Of course, Schutz Electric, they install automatic standby home generators from Generac. Power goes out, boom, your standby generator comes on. It powers your entire house. We're in storm season. Power's going to go out. Never wait in line for gas. Never wait in line for ice. Never be sweating in your own home when you wait days, God forbid, for the power to come back on. You'll never have to worry about it again. But a couple of things about Schutz. Number one, they have inventory. John Schutz did a great thing last year after Ida. He went and ordered a ton of inventory, even though it was months to get it. But now they have inventory ready to install at your home. That's number one. And number two, they only use in-house installers. I have been so impressed by the level of customer service. CESofLA.com. CESofLA.com.
There it is, the extra mile. on the border of expected and extraordinary for those willing to go further, like vans customized for work or play, with safety and tech to keep you connected. Supported by a 5-star sales, service, and finance team, and backed by the 1-star you know. So go the extra mile. It's never crowded, because so few have what it takes to go there. Mercedes-Benz Vans.
I've been doing business with Luba for 25 years. They're dependable, trustworthy. It's just the attention to detail with our clients.
Our folks have years and years of experience. They're highly trained professionals, but many companies have that asset. What I'd like to think makes Luba a bit different is that we use those talents in a way that truly is dedicated to serving the needs of the folks who depend on us.
Eli's always been into grilling. It took us a while to see it, but the signs were there.
What are you doing, Eli?
I knew grilling was my thing. I have been talking about it throughout my career.
Happy with the results?
I am. Got the new grill from barbecueguys.com. It performed great.
My advice, as I always told my boys,
do more of what you're born to do.
Barbecue Guys, for those who were born to grill.
You want cheese on your burger, Pops?
I'll take a little cheese.
Crime has serious consequences, but anyone can make a mistake. If you find yourself in trouble with the law, know that you have rights, and it's okay to demand them. The law offices of O.C. Brown are here to protect you and your rights. Felony or misdemeanor, DUI or drug charge. No matter what crime you're accused of, you still have rights. Let the law offices of O.C. Brown uphold them. Call 225-343-1111. Your law firm for a lifetime.
My own people call me an Uncle Tom. I play music. Been wined and dined by royalty. Trying to bring people together. All people. But regardless of all that kind of stuff, I'm still Louis Armstrong.
Here's the man you're waiting for, the king of jazz, Louis Armstrong.
After further review with Matt Moscona, presented by Insurance Network of Louisiana, call for a free quote to see how much you can save. 293-0450. After further review with Matt Moscona, ESPN Baton Rouge, New Orleans, Alexandria.
Hey, Lee.
Hi, Matt. How you doing?
Great. Went on a whiskey/beer tour with the Bourbon Society of Baton Rouge this past weekend. We had a dandy time.
I know, you told me about that. Yeah, where'd you go? Tell me about it.
All right, so we went to Sazerac House. So we started by, shout out David Steele, Bourbon Society of Baton Rouge. They put on a great event. So we started in Baton Rouge, met there. Everybody got on a bus, about 50 of us. Went down to Sazerac House. So we toured Sazerac House.
Nice.
Then went to the Avenue Pub on St. Charles. Awesome spot. They rolled out the red carpet. They had the whole upstairs reserved for us. They had our whole catered lunch already ready when we got there. They served us 4 different types of old fashions, and then anything else was available for purchase. And then we went to Urban South, and so we got to sample 2 beers at Urban South, and then anything else that you wanted to buy. So great day, man. We had a fantastic time.
Nice mix. You probably didn't get quite as full as like when we went on the beer tours and had just beer.
The first beer tour we did when we made 4 stops.
Oof.
There were some people who on the bus ride home probably needed to mix in a water and a burger here and there. Yeah.
Well, good. So Sazerac, you've been part of for quite a while. That must have been way fun.
Yeah, man. So I've been down there before to Sazerac House, but it was a lot of fun. Now we have some sports stuff to talk about. We got to get to your beer.
Do we?
But
yeah,
maybe not.
On the beer thing. So later, I'm going to tell you about a beer from Second Line Brewing, and I don't know anything about these guys except that I know they're right over by Delgado Community College and near City Park. But it's obviously a brewery we got to check out.
I don't know that I've had anything from Second Line.
Well, you're going to have one after I tell you about it later.
Okay. Well, I very much look forward to that. So, by the way, there's one other thing. So, I'm leaving Thursday to go to New York. All right. So, 40th birthday trip. You are a native New Yorker.
Well, technically, I guess you're a native of where you were born.
Were you not born in?
I was born in New Jersey.
Okay.
But I spent my so-called formative years on Long Island in Stony Brook, New York. So I always consider, excuse me, if people just say, where are you from? That's in New York.
Got it. No, but that is a very accurate point about being a native of where you were born. A lot of people mess that up, actually. Like, my son, Drew, is a native Houstonian. Like, he was born at Texas Children's in Houston. He is a native Houstonian.
Right. He should be referred later on as Baton Rouge product.
Yeah, right.
Exactly.
Baton Rouge product.
Right. Yeah, exactly. So, that's, but you're right. You're a native of where you were born, regardless of, where the family resides at the time or whatever.
Yes.
But nonetheless, in answer to, what's funny is, Matt, as I discovered New York City way more as an adult. As a kid, we went in maybe for like day trips, and I went for sporting events, but it was only to Yankee Stadium, rarely to Shea Stadium, which was, out in Queens, and then to Madison Square Garden, where, I've told you that story about going there to see Pete Maravich, for example, but never got to experience really the culture of going to New York City. It wasn't something we did, unfortunately, as a family. Get school trips, going to museums, and that was awesome. And now when I go, it's one of the things I love to do still is go to the mini museums.
Yeah, there is no shot that Matt and Erica Moscona are going to museums in New York City. Like,
well, probably not with the Yankees. Well, the Yankees have day games Saturday and Sunday, so I assume you're hitting one of those.
We are. We're gonna go. No, I'm sorry. We're gonna go Friday night. We're gonna go. So
are you?
The Yankees.
Okay.
The Yankees are playing the Astros. That's primarily why we're going. It's 40th birthday. I got to do whatever I wanted. So like we're going to New York, and I have not yet gotten to see a game at the new stadium. So the last time that I got to see a game was in 2008 because I intentionally went for the final year of old Yankee Stadium, and then every time I've been in New York since, it's been in the baseball offseason. So I've not been able to see a game yet, so I very intentionally planned this trip to go see. And they're playing the Astros, so we'll get to see Bregman play as well, which is pretty cool. So I'm looking forward to it.
Good. And you're lucky going Friday night's going to be better than 1 o'clock Saturday or Sunday because it is going to be warm. I mean, it's going to be in the 80s, not so much where you couldn't go walk around New York City, but sitting in the direct sunshine for a day game there can be quite oppressive.
Also intentional because I am traveling with Erica Moscona, who there is an ice cube's chance in hell that you would sit outside in the sun watching a baseball game for 3+ hours. She does not like baseball at all and would let alone die. She would sit there and bake in the sun while watching baseball.
Well, there are places there where you can take her where she can eat and drink and you can hemorrhage cash and she can stay very cool and still see some of the baseball while the game's going on.
The hemorrhaging cash is going to happen. It's already begun, but I am looking forward to it. It's going to be a good trip. So by the way, are you watching any of the Stanley Cup Finals?
Of course.
So you're not. So were you a Rangers guy?
Growing up, yes, Rangers guy. Appreciated the Islanders later, but they came long after my so-called formative years. And so I was a Rangers guy and grew up listening to Marv Albert on the radio do the Rangers and the Knicks. And so he's always been the benchmark announcer.
Huh.
And like the Rangers, you want to talk about hemorrhaging cash of all sporting events, look up a regular season NHL game in Madison Square Garden sometime.
Just the ticket cost?
Yeah.
Well, I believe it because you have a smaller venue, right? I mean, like even Yankee Stadium's you're talking about 45,000 seats. So, I mean, if you're talking about a 17,000, 18,000 seat, what's the Garden seat? Is that 18,000?
Yeah, probably 18. You made me think too. I've only been to the new Yankee Stadium one time. We were up there a few years ago and stub-hubbed it on the day of and took the train up from Midtown. It was really fun just to do that and watched them play the Orioles. And but it was a day game and it was warm. I spent a lot of games at the old Yankee Stadium. And it's Shea too, and they played there for a couple of years in the mid '70s.
So
the new one's nice. I mean, nothing not to like about it. The new Shea Stadium,
Citi Field, yeah,
spectacular, unbelievably great. If you go just for the venue, the new where the Mets play is better than where the Yankees play now. It's that amazingly cool.
I'd believe it. I mean, look, isn't that kind of the conundrum that like LSU baseball is running into right now as well? Like they were the first to build the new big beautiful stadium, but that's been 13 years, and since then everybody else has dumped tens of millions of dollars to renovate or build a new stadium, and there's a half dozen schools in the league that all have better stadiums than LSU now.
Yeah, and it's not like Alex Box Stadium's anything bad. It's pretty
exactly
fancy and pretty nice.
Especially by way of a college baseball stadium, you know?
Yeah, when's the last time you personally went to a Major League Baseball game?
A couple of years ago.
Has it been pre-pandemic?
Or you mean post-pandemic?
No, well, you've been post-pandemic?
No, I've not. So the last time I went was we jetted over to Houston maybe the summer before the pandemic and watched the Astros play.
Yeah, so that'd be 19. That was the last time I saw a professional game was that summer. I saw the Tokyo Giants in Tokyo, which was a magnificent experience.
Was that when you were in Tokyo when the old man died playing water polo?
Before then, right? Yes, on that trip. Thank you.
See?
Thank you for bringing that up.
Well, you're the one who always brings it up and laughs about it, by the way.
No, can I tell you?
I am appalled at the nature of this. That they're still letting geriatrics play water polo and dying in the pool. That's not okay.
Gosh. Anyway, it was so cool because there are sections in the outfield reserved for the different fan bases, and they bring their own bands for baseball games. A lot of horns, a lot of drums. Pretty neat.
What's coming up on Sports Monday this week?
Sports 225. I don't know. I told you we're in the best of. I don't decide until Wednesday morning. I go, all right, what are we putting in there this week? I don't know. I don't know. Whatever.
I love that so much. Hey, I did want to ask one other thing because yesterday there was news about Stephanie Remp, LSU COO, and I'll give you your opportunity to make the obligatory mention here in a moment, who is taking the job at Nevada. Thoughts, impressions, not only on Stephanie, but also what Scott Woodward might do there in trying to replace her at LSU?
Well, obviously a trusted, competent confidant because she's been with him a long time, was with him for a long time in Washington, and then was with him at A&M, and obviously knows the ins and outs. I wonder, what's the hook for her taking the Nevada job? Like if you said to yourself, all right, there's 350 Division I jobs out there, which ones would I take? And with her pedigree and everything that she's been a part of, I was just kind of surprised going to Nevada. Like, well, she's from the West Coast, so that's closer. And they're in the Mountain West Conference and have made some strides, doing well in football. By the way, you know who the commissioner of the Mountain West Conference is?
No.
Former Sun Belt Commissioner Craig Thompson. Been there a long time.
Okay. Craig Thompson.
Yeah. Yeah.
I was going to say Carl Benson. I knew it was a familiar name, but yes. Okay.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah, the retired Carl Benson. Great guy.
Craig Thompson.
She is, of course. All right. Are you boys ready?
Wait, did you not get your ding ready? Or is that what you're asking? You're about to go to? I set you up for it.
I know you set me, but I worry about your health.
Yes.
You know?
Okay. Go ahead.
Stephanie Remp, of course, is a former volleyball player at Arizona. There you go. And, when you read her resume, it's outstanding. I mean, she's done everything you could ask to do. And she's also from one of the greatest places in America, Santa Barbara. You ever been to Santa Barbara?
No.
Yeah, I'll tell you what. You go there and you go, ooh, this is nice. This is really nice. But anyway, she's had an incredible resume. And then, but what's the hook in going to Nevada? I don't know. I looked at it and it's like, okay, it's a nice job. They've got some good teams and some good sports, and it's probably a pay cut leaving LSU as the number 2 and becoming the athletic director in Nevada.
That's true.
So, but I don't know anything about her or her family situation or, what she's looking for. Maybe this is the time for her to finally take this job and do well and then become a Power 5 athletic director as the next move.
I think that's an inevitability. And I also think it's probably, I don't want to stress this, but I think it's probably natural that, is it the same in administration as it is in coaching where you're probably going to have to take the lower level job first to get the better job? I mean, maybe that's it. Like she's got to go be the AD at Nevada before she can be the AD at Texas A&M.
Right. Yeah, and there are not many Power 5 women athletic directors.
And that
right
was
now.
that was the other part. Yeah.
Yeah, which of course is Sandy Barber just retired at Penn State, and I'm thinking off the top of my head, how many others are there?
Vanderbilt has a female athletic director now as well,
and they don't even call it the athletic director.
Yeah, but it's AD.
Yeah, but yes, you're correct. And who there's not anybody else in the SEC, is there?
Off the top of my head, it's not coming.
No. I mean, a lot of great high-level administrators at a lot of schools, but not the actual athletic director.
Yeah.
I'm just playing in my brain real quick, but no, I don't think so. So yes, in answer to your question, if the next step is to try to become the athletic director or a conference commissioner, you've got to do this. So there you go.
Let's see. Candace Story Lee, Carla Williams, Heather Lyke, Jennifer Cohen, and then Sandy Barber, who's tried you. That was it.
Somebody look that up for you. Okay.
I'm looking it up right now.
Yeah, you asked me about the Stanley Cup playoffs just arbitrarily, but I had this feeling when the Lightning played the Rangers that all of a sudden that series was over and the Lightning were just going to storm back and do it. And I have that feeling the same thing's happened now in this series, and the Lightning wins in 6.
Okay.
Thank you. Drive home safely.
It's a pretty bold prediction there, especially after they got skunked at home by the Avs 7-0. I know nothing about hockey. What I do know a lot about, however, is beer.
Oh, it's that time already.
Oh, it's that time.
Oh, what is the malted liquor? What gets you drunker quicker? What comes in bottles or in cans? Beer. Can't get enough of it. Beer. How we really love it. Beer. Makes me think I'm a man. Beer. I could kiss and hug it, but I'd rather chug it. Got my belly out to here. Beer. I could not refuse it. I could really use a beer. Beer.
All right, take it away.
All right, so I mentioned at the very beginning, Second Line Brewing out of New Orleans, over near Delgado and near City Park. And I don't know much about them, and I got to find out more because I've had a couple of their beers. They're really good, but the one I'm throwing at you this week, Matt, is called, and is there a better name, Vacation Juice Hazy IPA.
Okay. Oh, I have seen that.
Yeah, it's got like pictures of a beach scene with some umbrellas. It's nice, and it's a real nice tasting IPA. So many of these IPAs taste a lot alike, and this one doesn't like blow your socks off. It's just really good. It's 6.8% alcohol, and like they say, Vacation Juice is our haziest, juiciest IPA to date, packed with a whole bunch of different kinds of hops and tropical fruit flavor and a soft mouth feel. But when you just need a vacation, grab a Vacation Juice, and I like it. I thought it was really good. I'm gonna pick up more of it. It was as far as these IPAs go for this kind of weather and everything, and I doubt you'll worry about Vacation Juice IPA, but don't worry, Matt. They have beer in New York.
I have had
and they have bourbon.
I have had Vacation Juice IPA because when Erica goes to the store, sometimes she will buy me beer, and she will only buy the beer solely on if she likes the look of the can. If the can is pretty, she will buy it. And she bought me that one once, and I enjoyed it.
Well, then I know, for example, she's not buying you any of those dark-looking, weird cans from Flying Tiger.
Correct. Like one of my favorites is Flying Tiger Risk and Reward. I love that beer from Flying Tiger, and she is mortified by the can, so she never buys it. If I ever want it, I have to go buy it. Yes.
Oh my gosh.
All right, Lee. Fabulous. Well, thank you for the time. I look forward to Sports Monday.
Matt, happy 40th.
Well, coming up in a few weeks. But yes, thank you. I appreciate it. That is the one and only, the inimitable Lee Feinswog. This is after further review. Yes, my 40th is on July the 8th. But we didn't have anybody to watch Drew on my actual birthday. This is when we could actually get someone to watch him, and so we're going this weekend. All right, it is after further review. We'll knock out a quick break. Stay here.
AFR.
Tuesday shows are brought to you by Insurance Network of Louisiana, 293-0450, 293-0450. Recent study suggested that 95% of Americans, 95%, have changed their spending habits because of the current state of the economy. If you are looking for ways to save money, you're in the overwhelming majority right now. Have you thought about your insurance? We all have to pay insurance, and too many of us are overpaying unnecessarily and underinsured. That's where Insurance Network of Louisiana comes in. They shop independently for free to get you better coverage for less money. Nick is an AFR listener. They rewrote his coverage. He had been with Liberty Mutual. They increased his coverage by $100,000. He got $100,000 more coverage and saved $2,000 over the course of the year. Better coverage for less money. 293-0450.
Come on over to Corval Toyota to pre-order your next vehicle. It's an easy and stress-free process. Browse, reserve, pick up, and enjoy. It's that simple. So come on down to Happy Town. That's Corval Toyota in Opelousas, Happy Town, USA.
And this year, 2022, it's time to finally treat yourself. Bring your boat to the next level with front-to-back boat service. You want the latest and greatest marine technology? You want to go to the place that has not one, but two NMEA certified techs. Family owned and operated by the Sherman family for 30 years. Front to Back is the answer in Baton Rouge for all of your custom boat needs. So head to fronttobackboatservice.com or find them on Facebook, Front to Back Boat Service.
I've been doing business with Luba for 25 years. They're dependable, trustworthy. It's just the attention to detail with our clients.
Our folks have years and years of experience. They're highly trained professionals. But many companies have that asset. What I'd like to think makes Luba a bit different is that we use those talents in a way that truly is dedicated to serving the needs of the folks who depend on us.
Are you a licensed contractor? There's lots of good contractors in Louisiana doing work the right way, but unfortunately, too many unlicensed contractors are working outside the licensing requirements. Working as a contractor in Louisiana requires a license for the company doing the work. The Louisiana State Licensing Board for Contractors wants to help you get licensed to allow you to conduct work legally. It's not difficult to get the license. We can help you. Go to lacontractor.org for more information. Licensed contractors, it's the law.
This isn't just another day. It's so much more. Kelly's life was put on hold when her auctioneer primary care doctor discovered a rare blood disorder. Her doctor connected her to an auctioneer care team of cancer, heart, and kidney specialists. With multiple primary care locations around Baton Rouge, same-day appointments, and online scheduling, we're relentless about keeping you healthy. Auctioneer Baton Rouge, innovating healthcare for Kelly.
If you're in an accident, a car accident, a slip and fall where you're injured, you need to call an attorney. The defendant insurance company, it's their goal to close the case as quickly as possible and pay out the least amount of money as possible. That's why it's important to call an attorney and call the law office of O.C. Brown.
At the law office of O.C. Brown, we're a family-owned firm. We want to be your law firm for a lifetime.
After further review with Matt Moscona, presented by Insurance Network of Louisiana. Call for a free quote to see how much you can save. 293-0450. After further review with Matt Moscona, ESPN Baton Rouge, New Orleans, Alexandria.
All right, Texas A&M is moving on. Notre Dame's run at the College World Series has come to an end. The Aggies beat the Irish 5-1 was the count. So Notre Dame did the college baseball world a favor in bouncing Tennessee in their own super regional, but it was not to be. What a job by Jim Schlossnagle there in year one in College Station. Of course, being a national seed, advancing to the College World Series, and now 2 wins away from the championship series. So A&M wins the elimination game. Notre Dame goes home. A&M will have to beat Oklahoma twice now to advance to the College World Series championship series. And then coming up in a little more than about an hour and 20 minutes from right now, the nightcap is Arkansas and Auburn. Loser there goes home. Of course, the winner will advance and have to play Ole Miss and beat Ole Miss twice in order to make it to the championship series. But as we've talked about, when I say this out loud, I know it sounds stupid. So please bear with me. I've said it enough, but my feeling always was with this Ole Miss team, They're obviously the hottest team right now. They're the only team that has not lost in this postseason. In the NCAA tournament, obviously they lost in the SEC tournament, but they're the only team that has not lost in the NCAA tournament. They swept their regional, swept their super regional. They're 2-0 in Omaha. But their opportunity, Ole Miss's opportunity, was through the winner's bracket. Because if they could set up Dylan DeLucia, Hunter Elliott through the winner's bracket and have those guys available in the championship series, they have a great chance to win the national championship, and I think they will. But if they lost and had to throw one of those guys, I'll give you an example. They're very likely, I think we probably agree, they're very likely going to throw Derek Diamond on Wednesday. If they lose that game and you have to come back and you're facing elimination, you very likely bring back Dylan DeLucia. I think that has to be your option. You're trying to save your season. And if you do that, then you don't have him at the beginning of the championship series. At best, you would have him in a if necessary game 3 of the championship series. That's what happened with Alex Lang in 2017. You had Lang waiting for the if necessary game 3, but you never got to the if necessary game 3. I think for Ole Miss, if they can win tomorrow, they set up with a healthy or a rested pitching staff, rested bullpen, hot offense with DeLucia, Hunter Elliott, and I think they'll win the national championship. But if they have to go through the loser's bracket and they have to throw DeLucia before they get to the championship series, I think it'd probably in Oklahoma. I don't know. I mean, good luck to A&M. I mean, not really. I don't want any of the SEC West teams to do well. At this point, I am an ardent Oklahoma Sooner fan. I do not want Texas A&M to win a national championship. I certainly do not want Ole Miss to win a national championship. And I'm mortified by the amount of LSU fans that are cheering for Ole Miss because of Mike Bianco. I mean, no disrespect at all to Mike Bianco. He played at LSU. He coached at LSU. He's a great former Tiger. He is the head coach at Ole Miss. It's nothing against him personally. But I do not want that program winning a national championship. Like, do you realize that they're about to release a documentary on Mississippi State's national championship season? So every year heretofore in the SEC tournament when they have inevitable rain delays, it's no longer just the walk-off and hold the rope. You're going to be also watching whatever they call the championship season documentary for Mississippi State. No, thank you. I don't need back-to-back Mississippi schools from the SEC West winning the Natty. They can have it in Oklahoma, go and whatever, put a little statue in. I don't know what you want. It doesn't matter. Nobody cares about Oklahoma baseball. They care in the South. All right, it's after further review. We're brought to you by the Williamson Eye Center. Speaking of the walk-off, of course, Warren Morris is a patient of Dr. Blake Williamson. Dr. Blake did Warren Morris's LASIK, did Paul Maneri's lens replacement. So many other pro athletes, Caleb Chasson, Devin White, John Emery, just a seemingly endless, Andre Anthony, an endless list of athletes, current and former, have trusted their eyes and their sight and their vision to Dr. Blake Williamson. I did as well, certainly not an athlete, but I'm a guy who genetically had terrible eyes. Not anymore. Wake up in the morning and I just see 20/20. Actually better than 20/20. 2015. It is possible. And the Williamson Eye Center can make it happen. Just go for that consultation. You want to see 20/20 without contacts or glasses? There's a way. Dr. Blake Williamson can make it happen. 924-2020 or WilliamsonEye.com. All right, it's after further review. You still have Tigers and the Pros coming up to wrap up hour number 2. One other quick thing. Brooks Koepka is the latest golfer to defect from the PGA Tour to the LIV Golf International Series. Koepka's 32 years old. He certainly is one of the highest profile players so far, along with the likes of Phil Mickelson and Dustin Johnson, Bryson DeChambeau, Patrick Reed. Abraham Answer also. He's ranked 20th in the world. He's announced he's leaving. The PGA Tour, it is rare that you see this much disruption in sports. The PGA Tour has a major problem. I mean, Major League Baseball doesn't have to worry about a startup baseball league plucking the best players. The NFL has faced competition from startup football leagues, and it's never really threatened them. When you talk about an individual sport like golf, when so far 8 of the top 50 players in the world 8 of the top 50 have left the PGA Tour. You know what this is like? It's like college football bowl opt-outs. Do you remember initially the reaction when Leonard Fournette, Christian McCaffrey, you remember they were opting out of bowls? It's how you're quitting on your team. How could you just walk away from your team? You're quitters. And what's happened? College football bowl opt-outs are just normal now because there's too many guys with too much to lose to go play in a glorified exhibition. If it's not the playoff, who cares? And it was vilified initially, but opening the door made it so easier for others to follow, and now it's just part of our reality. Same's going to happen with this golf thing. Those who made the initial move were vilified, but now you're seeing more and more and more do it, and it's just going to become normal. PGA Tour has a real problem. They're going to continue losing golfers to where LIV is not going anywhere. They got too much money. They are going to be a competitor with the PGA Tour. I mean, it just can't possibly go any other way. All right, it's after further review. Let me knock out a quick break. Muse will have Tigers and the Pros to wrap up hour number 2 next.
AFR.
AFR is brought to you by Clegg's Nursery. 4 locations in the greater Baton Rouge area. Siega near Airline, LA 16 in Denham, Mid-City on Donmore, and the Garden Center on Greenwell Springs. I want to remind you, of course, obviously Clegg's has full greenhouses. You want flowers, gorgeous flowers, a great selection. You get them at any of the 4 Clegg's Nursery locations. Plant that flower garden, your patio pots. You want to add that pop of color by the pool or the back patio as you're enjoying the outside during these summer days and summer nights. Clegg's can help make it happen. Also remember, though, if you're looking at your lawn and you have brown spots in your lawn, could be because of the sun, could be because of certain bug infestations, it's worth going to Clegg's because they have the solutions. Their horticulturists have all the answers. If you're not sure what you need, they know. They're experts. So go to Clegg's and just find someone in a blue shirt and they'll help you out. 4 locations in the greater Baton Rouge area for more than 60 years. Buy local, shop local. Tell them Matt sent you in to Clegg's Nursery.
Bayou Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram has new 2021 Jeep Wranglers and Jeep Gladiators on our lot now with $5,000 off MSRP. And all new Bayou vehicles come with a 1 million mile powertrain warranty. If you need sales or service, the crew at Bayou is going to do right by you.
I've been doing business with Luba for 25 years. They're dependable, trustworthy. It's just the attention to detail with our clients.
Our folks have years and years of experience. They're highly trained professionals, but many companies have that asset. What I'd like to think makes Luba a bit different is that we use those talents in a way that truly is dedicated to serving the needs of the folks who depend on us.
ServiceMaster Elite create clean, disinfected work environments. As a local business, we take pride in serving the New Orleans and Baton Rouge areas. Our cleaning protocols follow CDC and OSHA standards for healthcare settings, offices, senior living, restaurants, and industrial plants. Contact ServiceMaster Elite to get your operation ready for reopening with germ disinfection cleaning. ServiceMaster Elite, the trusted choice in professional cleaning since 1996.
It's no secret, the best oysters in Baton Rouge are at Jolie Pearl Oyster Bar. Enjoy mouth-watering South Louisiana flavor and oysters from all over the country. And don't forget our nightly drink specials. Jolie Pearl Oyster Bar, located in downtown Baton Rouge.
Gulf Coast Office Products is a nationally recognized Savin office equipment dealer based right here in Louisiana. Over 100 employees strong, Gulf Coast has the boots on the ground to support all vertical markets from education, engineering, legal, and finance. With the latest in office technology from desktop to production segment units, Gulf Coast and Savin have the perfect fit for you. Call 225-756-2644. That's 756-2644 for Gulf Coast Office Products.
Join 100.7 The Tiger and Our Lady of the Lake Ascension Saturday, June 25th at the Lamar Dixon Expo Center in Gonzales.
Enjoy live music from Ted Durr, Mike Broussard and the Night Train, and Jamie Badron and the Kickin' Cajuns. Make sure you grab a delicious plate of jambalaya from the Mike Ward's Liberty Safes Jambalaya Cook-Off to raise money for the Alzheimer's services of the capital area.
The Swamp Pop Music Festival with Supreme Chevrolet,
Louisiana's country station.
After further review with Matt Moscona, presented by Insurance Network of Louisiana. Call for a free quote to see how much you can save. 293-0450. After further review with Matt Moscona, ESPN Baton Rouge, New Orleans, Alexandria.
All right, wrapping up hour number 2. Musso has Tigers in the pros.
Tigers in the pros. They still bleed purple and gold. They're just really rich now. Presented by Lee Michaels Fine Jewelry. Lee Michaels Fine Jewelry, where Baton Rouge gets engaged.
I've been waiting all day to do this right here. Marlon Taylor, former LSU Tiger, has been drafted by the Harlem Globetrotters.
Hey, that is such a good fit.
How awesome is this?
Oh, my God, that is such a good fit.
He's a Globetrotter.
He is totally a Globetrotter.
He's going to be jumping everywhere.
That is so good. I don't know. Do people still go watch the Globetrotters?
I mean,
I don't mean to be disrespectful,
They're really entertaining.
but I really don't know if that's how big of a thing.
Have you seen the Globetrotters?
I mean, it's been a long time, but yeah, I mean, they've come to the River Center.
Saw them there.
I think I saw them at the PMAC years ago as well.
How cool would that be if you got to go back to the PMAC?
Yeah, that's pretty cool. That is pretty cool. How about it?
How about this? Their head coach.
And maybe we could get Pat Bradley to say Marlon Taylor again.
That'd be
Marlon
so good.
Taylor's a Globetrotter.
The Globetrotters at the PMAC with Pat Bradley on the call.
So good.
Their coach, their head coach, Coach Handles, had this to say about Marlon Taylor.
6'5" Marlon Taylor is known for his dunking, hoops, and alley-oops. As a matter of fact, 2 of those alley-oops got him on SportsCenter's top 10 plays of the day back when he was a collegiate player at LSU. His wingspan makes him the man and makes him a great candidate for the 2022 draft.
It's so good. He's a Globetrotter. I love it. Speaking of draft, not the Globetrotters draft, this is the NBA draft. It looks like Sharief O'Neal has put his name into the draft. Worked out for the Lakers today, according to Brad Turner of the LA Times. Shaq wanted Sharief to stay in school and not enter the draft. Apparently, Sharief said today that they disagreed. Worked out with the LA Lakers.
I think Sharief, because the deadline came and when he saved the draft. That's been at least a week now. But that's interesting that he worked out for the Lakers. Sharief's not going to get drafted, but it'll be he'll be somewhere in the summer league, and I mean, we've seen guys make the most of that opportunity, so good luck to him, man.
So Sharief O'Neal off to the NBA. This was brought to my attention on Twitter by Stephen Miller. Kennedy Landry from MLB.com covers the Rangers, Manship grad, shout out. She's reporting that Josh Smith is now off of the 10-day injured list, even though it felt like it's been a lot more than 10 days. And Josh Smith is in the lineup tonight. He will bat 8th and play third base for the Texas Rangers as they host the Philadelphia Phillies.
LFG. Pick up where you left off.
Yeah,
Go get him.
He's hitting .417.
Guts and God, Kerdog style. On the line, brother.
Okay, that's enough of that. Kevin Gausman is on the mound tonight for the Blue Jays. 5-6 on the year with a 3.21 ERA, 80 strikeouts in 73 innings, just 11 walks on the season. Kevin Gausman goes for win number 6 tonight for the Jays. That is Tigers in the Pros.
Presented by Lee Michaels Fine Jewelry, LMFJ.com for Lee Michaels Fine Jewelry. Gentlemen, if you're about to pop the question, no better place to go. Lee Michaels, where Baton Rouge gets engaged, and it's been that way for 40 years. The best part about Lee Michaels, you'll get a beautiful, high-quality diamond at an affordable price, and you will always get the Lee Michaels experience, no matter your budget. Just walk in and let them take care of the rest. LMFJ.com for Lee Michaels Fine Jewelry, LMFJ.com. All right, it's after further review. SportsCenter's coming up. Get you caught up on national headlines from SportsCenter. We will get you a preview of Arkansas and Auburn from the College World Series at the bottom of next hour. Big updates from the NFL as well. Gronk has retired. Deshaun Watson settled 20 of his lawsuits, so it's certainly putting some of the pieces in place for the coming NFL season. Glad you're here. It's AFR.
AFR.
AFR is brought to you by the Aesthetic Medicine and Anti-Aging Clinics of Louisiana, Bluebonnet in Baton Rouge, Ambassador Caffrey in Lafayette, and online at theantiagingclinics.com, theantiagingclinics.com. Tell you all the time, of course, about hormone replacement therapy. It's the cornerstone of what they do, and it's so worth a simple blood test to know if you're a candidate. If you want to feel like your younger self, it's possible. Simple blood test can let you know if you're a candidate for hormone replacement therapy. But there's so much else. And this happens so often. And, man, for the first time I ever walked through those doors, they told me, look, hormone replacement therapy is what gets so many men and women through the door. And once they're here and they start feeling good again, they kind of look around and go, all right, what else you have? Maybe it's VeloShape. Maybe it's UltraShape. Maybe it's laser hair removal. Maybe it's teeth whitening or anything that can help make you look and feel your best. It's the Aesthetic Medicine and Anti-Aging Clinics of Louisiana, voted the nation's best aesthetic practice. Learn more online, theantiagingclinics.com.
Gulf Coast Bank and Trust is giving our customers the power to bank anywhere, anytime during this challenging event. And we're right there with you. Our mobile banking app is a smart way to manage your money and time. Gulf Coast Bank and Trust, the bank that cares about you.
Bayou Ford has $10,000 off new Ford F-150s. We have new 2021 F-150s on our lot now with $10,000 off MSRP. And all new Bayou Ford vehicles come with a 1 million mile powertrain warranty. If you need sales or service, the crew at Bayou is going to do right by you.
This is a house call. This is a follow-up appointment. This is a diabetes checkup. This isn't just more convenient care, it's more advanced care. This is innovating healthcare at Louisiana's #1 hospital, Auctioner.
Eli's always been into grilling. It took us a while to see it, but the signs were there.
What are you doing, Eli? I knew grilling was my thing. I have been talking about it throughout my career.
Happy with the results?
I am. Got the new grill from barbecueguys.com. It performed great.
My advice, as I always told my boys,
do more of what you were born to do.
Barbecue Guys, for those who were born to grill.
You want cheese on your burger, Pops?
I'll take a little cheese.
Crime has serious consequences, but anyone can make a mistake. If you find yourself in trouble with the law, know that you have rights, and it's okay to demand them. The law offices of O.C. Brown are here to protect you and your rights. Felony or misdemeanor, DUI or drug charge. No matter what crime you're accused of, you still have rights. Let the law offices of O.C. Brown uphold them. Call 225-343-1111. Your law firm for a lifetime.
My own people call me an Uncle Tom. I play music. Been wined and dined by royalty. Trying to bring people together. All people. But regardless of all that kind of stuff, I'm still Louis Armstrong.
Here's the man you're waiting for, the king of jazz, Louis Satchmo Armstrong.
This is SportsCenter.
I'm Christine Lisi. Browns quarterback Deshaun Watson has settled 20 of the 24 civil lawsuits filed against him, according to the attorney representing the women who accused Watson of sexual misconduct. NFL spokesman Brian McCarthy said today's development has no impact on the collectively bargained disciplinary process. The Browns are bracing for a lengthy Watson suspension, explains ESPN's Jake Trotter.
Could that be 8? Could that be 10, 12, the season? I think all of that is on the table. I think anything above the 10 games for Deshaun Watson, you're looking at the potential of the 2022 season being almost a lost one, just because there is such a difference in talent between Deshaun Watson and then Jacoby Brissett.
Jake Trotter on Barton Hahn. After 11 NFL seasons and 4 Super Bowl championships, tight end Rob Gronkowski announced his retirement from the NFL. His agent told ESPN's Adam Schefter he wouldn't be surprised if Gronk is coaxed out of retirement for a second time by Buccaneers quarterback Tom Brady. NBA Mike D'Antoni set to meet today with Hornets owner Michael Jordan about the team's head coaching job, reports ESPN's Adrian Wojnarowski.
ESPN Radio is presented by Progressive Insurance. And now, a no-frills ad brought to you by Progressive Insurance. Here it is. You can save big when you bundle your home and auto with Progressive. That's it. See? Just a good old-fashioned, straightforward ad. See if you can save at 1-800-PROGRESSIVE or Progressive.com.
Matt Moscona.
I'm very important.
After further review.
Say it one more time.
After further review with Matt Moscona.
And here we go.
ESPN Baton Rouge, New Orleans, Alexandria. Live from the Mercedes-Benz of Baton Rouge studios.
That's right.
Hour 3, off we go. Welcome aboard. Glad you're with us. AFR, presented by Insurance Network of Louisiana. I'm Matt.
This is Shaq O'Neal, and I hate Matt.
Paul O'Neal.
They're chanting Paul O'Neal's name.
Muso. And Mr. Toby Tomplay. All right, we're here. Glad you are as well. 5 o'clock, quitting time. Glad you are driving home with us. Buckle up, arrive safely wherever you're going. Glad to have you here. If you missed anything, of course, AFR On Demand. As Muso told you yesterday, I know late last week we had a bit of an issue with our On Demand link. The problem was we changed host servers, and that happened very abruptly. Well, I don't believe in hiding anything from y'all. We were switching, and when the host platform we were using found out we were switching, they then just canceled our feed. So that's why nothing uploaded. So apologies to everyone who's checking On Demand. It's back. So if you go to Spotify or iTunes or any of your favorite Spreaker, any of your favorite podcasting platforms, just search After Further Review, and you'll see our feed there. You can listen to the whole show hour by hour right there. But you got to search by the shows now individually. Search After Further Review, subscribe, you get AFR On Demand. Presented by Brett Golf. Okay, it's After Further Review. It is that time of year. You know it. It is that time of year where darn near every website publication does that thing where they put lists out there just to piss us off, and then radio people take the bait, and that's why we like to do this.
And now it's time for Feigned Indignance from Sports Talk Radio Guy over random summertime sports lists.
Although I'm not going to do the Feigned Indignance thing. But that's why we make fun of random summertime lists. But I do understand if you're a writer, you've got to drive web traffic. And if the sport you cover isn't in season and you don't have breaking news, you still have to produce content. So I get why you do lists. I get it. So ESPN listed college football's top 25 future power rankings. Not current. But they took cumulative data, a formula they put together where they sort of measured the future, the next 3 years of the quarterback position, the next 3 years of your offense, the next 3 years of your defense, and all that. They threw it together and said, okay, spit it out. This is the next 3 years of your football program. And LSU fans will probably be excited to know that after back-to-back seasons at 500 in the regular season and one game below 500 because of the absurd Texas Bowl against Kansas State when LSU played a receiver at quarterback, you were a game below 500. That over the next 3 years, this ESPN metric is projecting LSU as the 10th best program in college football over the next 3 years. We previously talked about their quarterback ranking at 16, which I disagree with. So they rank the offense at 16, the defense's future ranking at 9, and the overall team ranking 10th. Maybe the best part about that, though, by the way, is, yes, LSU at 10 is you'd love for them to be lower, but Bama is 1, Georgia is 2, Ohio State is 3, Texas A&M 4, then Clemson, Notre Dame, Oklahoma, Michigan, USC. So that means only Bama, Georgia, and Texas A&M are projected ahead of LSU over the next 3 years. Now, first of all, let me explain why this metric is absolutely stupid and we should not put any stock in it, which is kind of begs the question why I'm even talking about it. But the transfer portal has made grading a roster impossible. Because part of this metric is you look at the signing classes collectively and cumulatively that you've signed and what it's going to be like over the next 3 years. Guys on the roster currently, this new signing class, guys currently committed ahead, and that's how you kind of put together what it's going to look like. The problem is, how many of those guys, even the highest rated, are guaranteed to stay with your program? I'll give you an example. If we had looked at this metric in 2020, 5-star tight end Eric Gilbert, the highest rated tight end in the history of the 247 rankings, was an LSU Tiger, and you're projecting him with LSU for 3 years. You got him for half of a COVID season. You think that alters the rankings? Yeah. 5-star linebacker Drew Sanders, who was with Alabama last year, played sparingly as a freshman. He's now at Arkansas. Does that affect the rankings from a year ago to now? The transfer portal's changed it all to where it's no longer about projecting a roster for 3 years, because what you have now in college football is more similar to free agency in sports, where you can go out and turn your roster over and go from worst to first and be super competitive. Like, it is possible now in college football. Michigan State was a great example of that a year ago under Mel Tucker. Nobody used the portal more to their advantage in college football a year ago than Mel Tucker and Michigan State. And my guess is, at the end of this coming season, we're going to look at college football as a whole and say the very same thing about this LSU team. And Brian Kelly did it not because he wanted to, but he did it out of necessity. You all know the numbers. They had 39 players in the bowl game. They had massive defections. It was just a disaster at the end of Ed Ogeron's era. You saw it. He had to go hit the portal to put together a competent roster that could compete in the Southeastern Conference. And he did. And we'll see how many games they end up winning. I mean, I sure hope that they can push this, what I think is their glass ceiling of 9 wins, and maybe win 9 and get a bowl win and get to 10. It would be a magnificent year one under Brian Kelly. I think he's a great coach. He's assembled a really good staff. I think he's got buy-in from his players. You're going to have structural organization that did not exist under the previous staff. And for all of those reasons, I think it's going to be a net win for LSU over the next 3 years and beyond, because Brian Kelly's going to be here for 10 years. When you look at the contract, they are pot committed. He will be here. But on one hand, it's nice to look at this and show that LSU is going to be considered among college football's elite over the next 3 years and sort of reclaim its rightful place among the top. But the flip side of it is it's hard to put any stock at all in this because, I mean, when you look at the number of transfers and grad players that LSU had this year, you're going to have massive roster turnover next year as well. There's the NIL component of all of this. Then also, with the new signing, the elimination of the hard cap of 25, it changes the way you build a roster. It's just, there's no way to try to accurately project anymore what it's going to be like over the next 3 to 5 years within a program. The one thing that you could look at, and I think this is singular, is the stability at head coach. That's the thing. If you have a stable head coach in place that you believe is going to be there, that you trust to scout, to manage the roster, and to be able to recruit and then coach up the talent you have, I mean, that's your trump card. And that's why Alabama's going to be there, and that's why USC is going to be there because of Lincoln Riley, and that's why Georgia's going to be there because of Kirby Smart, and certainly Ohio State deserves to be right there in the top 5 as well. They're listed at 3rd on this list. Texas A&M, and I know we like to laugh, and people call them Texas 8-4 and all that stuff, but Jimbo has won a national championship, and he should have the talent now in place to be able to compete again. We'll see if they actually can. Michigan at 8, I certainly question if Jim Harbaugh will be around and if they can maintain that level. And when they finally got into the playoff, they got shellacked. Miami at 11 is going to be interesting. I mean, Cincinnati at 12, I don't know how that works at all, having Cincinnati anywhere near the top 15. Oregon at 13, Utah at 14. All of that, we'll see how it plays out. But give me stability at head coach, a proven winner at head coach, a proven program builder, roster management, a coach that's got good eye for identifying coaching talent, replacing talented coaches whenever they inevitably lose them with other talented coaches. And Brian Kelly has all that. And it's a part of the reason why you should have tremendous confidence that LSU is going to be among the nation's elite in the next 3 years, 5 years, 10 years, again, where they've been for much of the last 20 years. All right, it's after further review. You can always text the show on the 225-396-4400, 396-4400. I want to get a poll question check, Muse. Maybe we'll do that in the next segment. But I did ask in the first segment, or I'm sorry, I don't know, maybe the first hour, about, I'm trying to find these responses now. So we talked about doing something on the show with Otter locks, because Jimmy's had a lot of success. And yesterday he gave you Ole Miss and a money line, and he hit. It was his big play, and Ole Miss blew out Arkansas. Colucci gave you the Lightning yesterday, and he hit. So, Colucci is 3-0 on these NHL final games. Money line plays, by the way. So I want to do something where, like, take $1, take $10, $100, whatever, start with it, bet all of their bets, and just see where it ends after a year or something like that. Dion Santiago texted the show, said Keyshawn, J. Will, and Max did something similar. They started with like $50 or $100 for the football season and kept a running tally at who won or lost. So Keyshawn lost the entire pot in like 6 weeks.
Hey, man, it happens, all right? It happens.
But that's when you have to know, like, start betting less. You have to have
that's true.
You have to have the discipline to know, like, all right, if you started with 100 and you're down to 10, don't bet $10 everything in your pot on the next game. Like, bet $1 or $2. Like, you start scaling back your bets till you build up again. I'm not giving betting advice here. That's common sense, right? If you have $10, don't lose it all. Don't put everything you own on red. All right, it's after further review. Well, now I got a quick break. When we come back, we'll get some of your calls, texts, emails, tweets. We'll get to a poll question update. And is there a running back out there, as we talked so much about free agency, is there a running back for which the Saints should trade this offseason? Talk about that next. Stay far.
AFR.
Love telling you about Darren James and Associates, powered by eXp Realty. My goodness, is there any realtor that works harder to get your home sold faster for more money than Darren James? I don't believe so. That's why Darren James is on the Wall Street Journal's list of the top 1,000 realtors in America. And the reason he's there, the reason he moves so much inventory, the reason so many people like me and so many of you continue to refer friends and family to Darren James is because the level of service he provides. And he continues to show it time and again with so many different ways that benefit, like the Love It or Leave It program. Let's say you buy a home from Darren, if for whatever reason, within a year you have to move, he'll turn around and sell your home for free for his half of the commission. 335-7666, 335-7666. Darren, when you buy a home from him, he will throw a party, a welcome home party, a housewarming party for you and friends, catered and everything. It's just the way Darren gives customer service above and beyond. Look him up, agent225.com.
Think real estate, think Darren James.
My own people call me an Uncle Tom. I play music. Been wined and dined by royalty. Trying to bring people together. All people. But regardless of all that kind of stuff, I'm still Louis Armstrong.
Here's the man you're waiting for, the king of jazz, Louis Satchmo Armstrong.
Come on over to Corval Toyota to pre-order your next vehicle, and you'll never pay over MSRP. Browse, reserve, pick up, and enjoy. It's that simple. So come on down to Happy Town. That's Corval Toyota in Opelousas, Happy Town, USA.
And this year, 2022, it's time to finally treat yourself. Bring your boat to the next level with front-to-back boat service. You want the latest and greatest marine technology? You want to go to the place that has not one, but two NMEA certified techs. Family owned and operated by the Sherman family for 30 years. Front-to-back is the answer in Baton Rouge for all of your custom boat needs. So head to fronttobackboatservice.com or find them on Facebook, Front to Back Boat Service.
I've been doing business with Luba for 25 years. They're dependable, trustworthy. It's just the attention to detail with our clients.
Our folks have years and years of experience. They're highly trained professionals, but many companies have that asset. What I'd like to think makes Luba a bit different is that we use those talents in a way that truly is dedicated to serving the needs of the folks who depend on us.
Are you a licensed contractor? There's lots of good contractors in Louisiana doing work the right way, but unfortunately, too many unlicensed contractors are working outside the licensing requirements. Working as a contractor in Louisiana requires a license for the company doing the work. The Louisiana State Licensing Board for Contractors wants to help you get licensed to allow you to conduct work legally. It's not difficult to get the license. We can help you. Go to lacontractor.org for more information. Licensed contractors, it's the law.
If home is where the heart is, a roof is a shield. That's why for over 25 years, South Louisiana always turns to Garcia Roofing and Sheet Metal. For more information, visit garciadidmyroof.com.
I'm fascinated. I would love to know who that 14% is. And I wonder if someone just hit the wrong button.
Maybe. But, I mean, there are some instances where you have to answer your phone regardless. I mean, sales. I mean, you need to answer your phone in sales.
I mean,
maybe it's a new client or something. I mean,
that's it, but very seldom do people have their cell number attached to their business. So, anyway, hey, if you're part of that 14%, you let me know. You can tweet me at Matt Moscona. Again, don't call me. I don't
Hey,
talk to
Twitter
you.
world.
Don't. I don't want to talk to you. Don't call me. I'm not putting you. Well, man, I might even put you on the air. Probably not, but I might.
I mean, you take texts on the show, not calls, right? I mean, there you go.
I'm the unfortunate reality, which most people who like to call a show don't want to realize, is industry standard in radio is 2% of the audience. 2% will ever call. That's not called regular. 2%. I could dog cuss you and your mama. Only 2% would ever pick up the phone and call. Whoever is driving home right now, listening to the show, does not care what Jack in Albany has to say. No disrespect, Jack in Albany. I'm sure you're a wonderful person. But that's not why anybody's listening. That's why someone like Feinbaum is such an outlier, that he's made the career he has, taking calls from the same 10 people every day that just yell. It's because what they say is so absurd. Anyway, whatever. Earlier today on Get Up, Marcus Spears was doing his hit, and he weighed in on the Sean Payton, Jerry Jones, Dallas Cowboys thing. Of course, Swagoo was a first-round pick of the Dallas Cowboys, played all but one season in his career. His final season he played in Baltimore, but played the entirety of his career otherwise in Dallas. There's a really good sense of Jerry Jones in that organization and the culture there as a whole. Here's what Swagoo had to say about Sean Payton and Jerry Jones.
When he says Sean Payton shouldn't be available and we're fine with Mike, imagine you telling your wife that. Imagine you saying, this lady should not be single, but my wife cool. She all good. We gonna figure out what she is in this marriage over time. The bottom line is this. Jerry can say what he wants to say, G, but we all know and we have watched this movie time and time again. Let Sean Payton show interest that he want to be the Cowboys head coach. It don't matter if Mike McCarthy win the damn Super Bowl. Jerry gonna try to make it happen.
That's interesting for one. And Swagoo's awesome, but that's interesting because of one component. He said, let Sean Payton show he's interested. So, like, would Sean Payton have to initiate the interest, or would it be the other way? Maybe I'm reading too much into it, but it's just an interesting perspective from a guy who played in Dallas, who knows Jerry Jones, was drafted by Jerry Jones, signed contracts for Jerry, knows him well, knows the whole situation. So just file that away the more that goes through the offseason. The bigger question for the Saints in 2022 certainly is putting this roster together and what opportunities might still arise. And we have talked so much about the running back position over the past month, and I understand that because going into the draft, I told you that if there were a spot where I would love for the Saints, as everyone was talking offensive line, as everyone was talking linebacker or defensive back, the spot that nobody really wants to sink draft capital into anymore, receiver, the spot that nobody really wanted to sink draft capital into anymore is running back. And I said I would have been really comfortable with the Saints using a second or third round pick on a running back, remembering that the Saints took Alvin Kamara in round 3 to take that style of running back that could be a complement to Alvin Kamara and potentially an heir to Alvin Kamara. I even gave you a name. I thought Kyron Williams from Notre Dame was a perfect fit for what the Saints did. And it looked like this was going to be a draft where you didn't see a lot of running backs taken early, and there was going to be great talent in the middle of this draft. Really on day 2, even late day 2, at running back. Well, of course, the Saints traded up, and they didn't have as much draft capital as we thought, so they didn't take a running back, but they did sign Abram Smith, and a lot of people are very excited about that, and I'm in that number as well. But we have still looked this offseason and said how many free agent possibilities might be there, and we've gone through all of them, from Sony Michel signing with Miami. I mean, you know the list by now. Of course, you saw Darrell Williams sign with Arizona, Phillip Lindsay signed with the Colts, Tariq Cohen with the unfortunate injury when he was working out. So there just aren't really. I mean, David Johnson was the other high-profile free agent running back. And the Saints had him in for minicamp, and he didn't get a deal. So you don't have free agent options anymore. You have two options. If you're the Saints and you're still thinking about adding a running back, you have two options. Number one is wait till camp begins and roster cuts start happening. Because inevitably, somebody who's a really good player is going to get cut. Somebody who is a potentially better option than what you have or the options that you've brought in is going to get cut and you could sign him. That's one option. Number two, trade for a running back. So you have to look at what players might be available for trade that would be affordable, suit your needs, and be worth giving up capital to get. Because remember, if you make a trade for a player, you're not just taking on their contract, but you have to give up an asset for the right to take on their contract. That's why a lot of people say, well, trade this guy. It's not that easy. You have to have a willing partner. And there was some talk about Kenyan Drake. And, of course, folks here know Kenyan Drake because he played at Alabama and had a really good career, but his pro career hasn't really been that. Kenyan Drake has played 6 NFL seasons, which I'll grant you is not a super – he does not have a super large sample size of rushing attempts because he has never really been the bell cow anywhere he's been in his NFL career. He has largely been a backup in places, and as was the case this year in in Las Vegas. That habit's going to die hard. But in Las Vegas, behind Josh Jacobs. But you look at Miami, where he was drafted at 33 carries as a rookie. Started just one game. Started 6 times in his second year. Carried the ball 133 times, 120 carries in 2018. 2019, he played for 2 different teams. Played for Arizona and Miami. He played for Miami, then got sent to Arizona. You'll combine that season among the two teams for 170 rushes. His most productive year was the COVID year in 2020 when he was out in Arizona. He carried the ball 239 times, averaged 4 yards a carry, but then, of course, only there for a year. Now they spent this past season with the Raiders where he was a backup again. So, it's really one of those things that I say, would you be willing to trade for running back? My answer would be yes. But would you be willing to trade for Kenyan Drake? And my answer would be no. Because it's fair to ask, why did the team that drafted him give up on him? Why did Arizona punt him after a season and a half, especially when he came up big for you in the COVID year when he ended up starting 13 games? And then this year in Las Vegas, and they restructured him in Las Vegas, by the way. They restructured his deal. So Las Vegas, if they got rid of him, it would have to be, they'd be willing to eat dead money for the next 3 years. If I'm the Saints and I look at Kenyan Drake, I say I'm not going to give up an asset to get a player that's basically been punted by every team. Like, why can't he stick where he is? And then you ask yourself this question as well, which is a better option? A 28-year-old Kenyan Drake who's basically been a journeyman, or a rookie in Abram Smith who's hungry and trying to find his way and trying to stick? Like, which guy might be able to give you 100 carries this year as a backup? Who would you prefer? I tell you, I don't definitively know that answer today, but I'm sure willing to go into the preseason with Abram Smith and give him a chance to see if he could be that guy, the same way you did last year with Tony Jones Jr. And if you go into camp and you go into the preseason games and it's not working out, wait to see who gets cut, what opportunities, what options are there. And if none arise, then you can pursue a trade for running back if needed. And a lot of this is obviously contingent upon how Mark Ingram plays and if Alvin Kamara faces suspension. But if it's Kenyan Drake or anyone else, the one thing that should become very clear to you and to me and all of us right now when we have this conversation about running back, there aren't a lot of realistic great options, y'all. There just aren't. And your best option might be hope that Abram Smith is the real deal. Hope that he comes in hungry and ready to be the guy that the Saints have found many times in undrafted free agency over the last 15 years. And the long list of Pierre Thomas and Chris Ivory and tons of undrafted running backs that have made an impact on this team and on this roster in whatever role. So maybe Abram Smith could be next. I'm not ruling out a trade. I'm not saying don't trade for running back. I'm saying don't trade for running back right now. All right, we're brought to you by South Point Volkswagen. SouthPointVW.com, new and certified pre-owned in Baton Rouge and online at SouthPointVW.com. SouthPointVW.com. You can get on by and test drive one today. Louisiana's largest volume Volkswagen dealer. They can make a better deal for you because they move more inventory than any other dealer in the state. Even if you're outside of Baton Rouge, it might be worth a short drive to South Point Volkswagen if they can get the vehicle that you want and give you the right price on it. South Point Volkswagen. Airline just north of Highland. Remember, if it's on the lot, it's online at southpointvw.com. And the thing that I am just always thrilled with, the thing I love telling you about, the great German engineering, all the flash, the style, the feel, the performance of luxury without the cost. That's South Point Volkswagen. Airline just north of Highland or southpointvw.com. South Point Volkswagen, what's your direction? All right, we are about 30 minutes away from first pitch of another elimination game there in Omaha. It's another SEC West affair. It's going to be Auburn and Arkansas. Loser goes home. Winner will have to beat Ole Miss twice in order to advance to the championship series. Those games begin tomorrow. So Arkansas is really up against it if, in fact, they are able to win tonight to see if they can get back into this thing. So we'll knock out a quick break. We'll come back, take a quick look at Arkansas and Auburn tonight, and also two very significant stories out of the NFL today. Deshaun Watson has settled the lion's share of the lawsuits against him. What does that mean for the Browns this year? And Rob Gronkowski has retired for the second time. Certainly that's consequential here because the Saints play the Browns, and, of course, Tampa's in the division. So both of those stories directly do impact the Saints this 2022 football season. Stick around. It's AFR.
AFR.
College World Series tonight. Major League Baseball tonight. You need a place to watch it. Get on by Pluckers. Nicholson just south of campus. Bluebonnet right in front of the Mall of Louisiana. 28 flavors of award-winning jumbo chicken wings, ice-cold draft beer, full-service bar, sports on TV, and every Tuesday, two great reasons to get by Pluckers on Tuesday. Number one, kids eat free. It's the summertime. Kids might be driving you bonkers. You need an excuse to get out of the house and do so affordably. Pluckers, kids eat free every single Tuesday. So get by either Pluckers. And remember, Tuesday, 8:30 at the Nicholson location, sports trivia. So get your buddies together. Get on by Nicholson. Hunt Palmer hosting 5 rounds of live-action trivia. Eat wings, drink beer, watch sports on TV, test your sports knowledge, and win Pluckers gift cards. Voted a top 10 wing restaurant by USA Today, a top 5 sports bar by ESPN. It's Pluckers where, if you don't like our wings, we'll give you the bird.
There it is, the extra mile. On the border of expected and extraordinary for those willing to go further. Like vans customized for work or play. With safety and tech to keep you connected. Supported by a 5-star sales, service, and finance team. And backed by the 1-star you know. So go the extra mile. It's never crowded because so few have what it takes to go there. Mercedes-Benz Vans.
Join 100.7 The Tiger and Our Lady of the Lake Ascension, Saturday, June 25th at the Lamar Dixon Expo Center in Gonzales.
Enjoy live music from Ted Durr, Mike Broussard and the Night Train, and Jamie Badron and the Kickin' Cajuns. Make sure you grab a delicious plate of jambalaya from the Mike Ward's Liberty Safes Jambalaya Cook-Off to raise money for the Alzheimer's services of the capital area.
The Swamp Pop Music Festival with Supreme Chevrolet.
Louisiana's country station.
100.7 The Tiger.
This isn't just another day. It's so much more. Kelly's life was put on hold when her auctioneer primary care doctor discovered a rare blood disorder. Her doctor connected her to an auctioneer care team of cancer, heart, and kidney specialists. With multiple primary care locations around Baton Rouge, same-day appointments, and online scheduling, we're relentless about keeping you healthy. Auctioneer Baton Rouge, innovating healthcare for Kelly.
Gulf Coast Bank and Trust is giving our customers the power to bank anywhere, anytime during this challenging event. And we're right there with you. Our mobile banking app is a smart way to manage your money and time. Gulf Coast Bank and Trust, the bank that cares about you.
If you're in an accident, a car accident, a slip and fall where you're injured, you need to call an attorney. The defendant insurance company, it's their goal to close the case as quickly as possible and pay out the least amount of money as possible. That's why it's important to call an attorney and call the law office of O.C. Brown.
At the law office of O.C. Brown, we're a family-owned firm. We want to be your law firm for a lifetime.
Gulf Coast Office Products is a nationally recognized Savin office equipment dealer based right here in Louisiana. Over 100 employees strong, Gulf Coast has the boots on the ground to support all vertical markets, from education, engineering, legal, and finance. With the latest in office technology, from desktop to production segment units, Gulf Coast and Savin have the perfect fit for you. Call 225-756-2644. That's 756-2644 for Gulf Coast Office Products.
After further review with Matt Moscona, presented by Insurance Network of Louisiana. Call for a free quote to see how much you can save. 293-0450. After further review with Matt Moscona, ESPN Baton Rouge, New Orleans, Alexandria.
Our Lady of the Lake Ascension and 100.7 The Tigers Swamp Pop Music Fest and Jambalaya Cook-Off is Saturday, June 25th from 12 p.m. to 9 p.m. at Lamar Dixon. Thanks to our title sponsor, Our Lady of the Lake Ascension, Jambalaya Cook-Off sponsor, Mike Ward's Liberty Safes, and presenting sponsor, Supreme Chevrolet. All the proceeds from the Jambalaya plate sales will go to Alzheimer's Services. For the lineup of bands and to purchase tickets, go to 1045ESPN.com.
So two really significant NFL stories today, both of which actually do directly impact the New Orleans Saints. Number one, Rob Gronkowski has retired for the second time. Of course, he retired a few years back after the 2018 season. He sat out 2019 and then returned to the NFL in 2020, joining Tom Brady in Tampa. Of course, they won the Super Bowl in 2020 together. Gronk actually had a better season statistically this year in 2021 than he did in 2020 or his final season in New England in 2018. So he wrote a message on all of his social media today announcing that he is, in fact, retiring from the NFL for the second time, and I believe this will be it for Rob Gronkowski. There's no reason to believe at this point he'd be back. Just for a guy who was very, very good with his money, he's put his body through an awful lot throughout his career, and that dude just got a lot of living to do. Congrats to him. I mean, it certainly was a nemesis of the Saints while he was there in Tampa, but a guy that I think anyone could respect for his level of play and just ability and desire just to have fun, and kind of did it his way. So congrats to Gronk. Now, specifically for the Saints, that's significant because the Saints, of course, play Tampa twice, and Tampa's in the division. And when you look at Tampa's receiving threats, their production from a year ago, this is got to be keeping Tom Brady up at night. When Tom Brady, a couple of weeks ago, when Tampa had their mini camp, he was very direct about Russell Gage. Right? I mean, the Bucs paid Russell Gage. Tom Brady personally called Russell Gage to do a deal with Tampa to leave Atlanta. He did, and Brady was very direct, saying they need Russell Gage to catch on quickly. This is why. The Bucs' leading receiver last year was Chris Godwin. Of course, Godwin, unfortunately, tore his ACL against the Saints in December. There is no timetable yet for his return. It is not thought that he would be ready for the start of the season. Again, no timetable, but most, when you sort of read people that cover the Bucs, think that's going to push into the season, okay? So how long until you get Chris Godwin back? Mike Evans was your second leading receiver. He'll obviously be back. Gronk was your third leading receiver. He's retired. Antonio Brown was your fourth leading receiver. He went AWOL. He's not even in the league. Then it was Leonard Fournette was your fifth. 1, 2, 3, 4. Your fifth leading receiver was Fournette, who's obviously back. Then Tyler Johnson, Cameron Brate, Cyril Grayson. You get the point. Like, Godwin had 1,100 yards receiving. Gronk had 800 yards receiving. Antonio Brown had 545 yards receiving. I mean, you're talking over 2,500 yards just with those three guys gone. That's half of Tom Brady's receiving production, passing yards, and those three guys that are gone. So, I mean, it's still Tom Brady. And we've seen Tom Brady do a lot with less, right? And he's still got Mike Evans, and they signed Russell Gage. And so not to say that they have no options there, but they have new options. And it's plausible to think, man, it's going to take time and getting cadence down and rhythm together. You can flip it around and say the same thing for the Saints, and that is absolutely true. You've got Jameis, who's got to work on timing with Olave and Jarvis, and I get it. Totally get it. But that is something to consider and why that's significant for Tampa. That's one. Two, the other big story today is, of course, Deshaun Watson. And I'm not trying to get into all of the legalities, okay? I spoke my piece on that when the Saints were pursuing Deshaun Watson, when not one but two grand juries in the state of Texas failed to indict Deshaun Watson. And if you actually know how easy it is to garner an indictment, that to me was so telling. But anyway, I spoke my piece on that when the Saints were going through that pursuit. The Saints play the Cleveland Browns this year in Cleveland late in the season. So if Deshaun Watson is there, massively significant. If the Saints aren't facing Deshaun Watson, massively significant. So this news today, there's a reason why obviously many NFL fans and all the media is going to be following this story very closely and will continue to do so. But Deshaun Watson has settled 20 of the 24 lawsuits brought against him. One of those that did not settle was Ashley Solis, who was the first woman to file suit against Deshaun Watson. 20 others have settled. They've taken a cash settlement, and those terms have not been disclosed. But Deshaun Watson is obviously moving closer to having all of this behind him at this point. He maintains, said in a news conference last week, no regrets about any of his actions. Admitted he does regret the impact the allegations have had on people around him. That's what he said. So make your own decisions based on the information available to you. But what is clear is that Deshaun Watson and his legal team are moving past these allegations as 20 of the 24 lawsuits have been settled. The Saints play in Cleveland on Christmas Eve. So, I mean, that will be a road game, a cold weather game, and you very likely could be, very likely will be seeing Deshaun Watson in that game. And if it's not Deshaun Watson, remember the backups are Jacoby Brissett and Joshua Dobbs right now. Baker's still on the roster, but no one expects Baker Mayfield to be with the Cleveland Browns this year. It's just a matter of finding a trade partner when and where that all plays out. So if you're the Saints and you get to go to Cleveland and play either Jacoby Brissett or Josh Dobbs, it goes without saying you'd prefer that option than having to face Deshaun Watson. So, but Watson took a big step today, clearly. All right, we're brought to you by Shawbill's Tire and Auto Service, ShawbillsTire.com. Bumper-to-bumper auto service and name brand tires at wholesale prices. Check engine light on, brakes squeaking, need that oil change, going on the family road trip, bring your car to Shawbill's. ShawbillsTire.com, bumper-to-bumper auto service. And, of course, if you find yourself in need of tires, nobody will sell you name brand tires at wholesale prices like Shawbill's. They get you the best tires on the road for the cheapest price possible, and they will treat you like family every single time. That's Shawbill's. Ask about Charlie's Dozen, the best service, project, and warranty in the entire business that you'll find. ShawbillsTire.com, ShawbillsTire.com, Shawbill's, where we keep you rolling. It's been a really good show. Always appreciate you for being here with us. We got Otter Locks coming up, so find out what Jimmy's got for us tonight. No doubt he'll have a pick on the baseball game tonight with Auburn and Arkansas. See if he's got any Major League Baseball tonight as well. So Otter Locks is coming up. If you missed anything, AFR On Demand presented by Brett Golf. We did in Hour 1 have Maurice Williams with us. That's the 4-star safety commitment for LSU out of the Houston area, out of Pearland, committed for the 2024 class. He was here in Hour 1. If you missed it, you can catch it on demand at 1045ESPN.com. or however you get your podcast. Just search After Further Review. All right, final break of the show. We'll come back, do some Otter locks, find out what we're betting on tonight. Stick around. It's AFR.
AFR.
Hey, look, if you were looking for a job instead of a career, call River City's 1 Hour Air. 752-0001, 752-0001, 752-0001. Tell you all the time, whether they're always on time or you don't pay a dime. But at River City's 1 Hour Air, they'll pay their employee health insurance premiums. They offer a retirement plan. They get the best benefits in the market. You get a company vehicle for transportation. They offer a uniform cleaning service, and you can make as much money as you want to make. It's River City's 1 Hour Air. If you're looking for a career instead of a job, River City's 1 Hour Air. They value their employees, even have family picnic days and vacations and stuff like that. Learn more. 752-0001, 752-0001, 752-0001, or 1hourbr.com. And, of course, if you need maintenance on your home central AC, always mention the Moscona special. They'll save you $25 at River City's 1 Hour Air. 752-0001, where they're always on time or you don't pay a dime.
At All-Star Toyota, you get it all. If you're in the market for an all-new Toyota vehicle, come see our friendly and knowledgeable sales team at All-Star Toyota. Located in Baton Rouge at the corner of Airline and Goodwood, we've been serving our community since 2005 by offering a large selection of new Toyota cars, trucks, and SUVs. Get behind the wheel of your dream car and take a test drive at All-Star Toyota today.
There's nothing better than tailgating, but it can be a lot of work. So why do it yourself when you don't have to? Let Revelry Sports and Entertainment set up your luxury tailgate on campus. Order what you want and just show up to party. Book your tailgate today at revelryteam.com. Revelry Sports, the official tailgate partner of LSU Athletics.
ServiceMaster Elite create clean, disinfected work environments. As a local business, we take pride in serving the New Orleans and Baton Rouge areas. Our cleaning protocols follow CDC and OSHA standards for healthcare settings, offices, senior living, restaurants, and industrial plants. Contact ServiceMaster Elite to get your operation ready for reopening with germ disinfection cleaning. ServiceMaster Elite, the trusted choice in professional cleaning since 1996.
It's no secret. The best oysters in Baton Rouge are at Jolie Pearl Oyster Bar. Enjoy mouth-watering South Louisiana flavor and oysters from all over the country. And don't forget our nightly drink specials. Jolie Pearl Oyster Bar, located in downtown Baton Rouge.
Join 100.7 The Tiger and Our Lady of the Lake Ascension, Saturday, June 25th at the Lamar Dixon Expo Center in Gonzales.
Enjoy live music from Ted Durr, Mike Broussard and the Night Train, and Jamie Badron and the Kickin' Cajuns. Make sure you grab a delicious plate of jambalaya from the Mike Ward's Liberty Safe's Jambalaya Cook-Off to raise money for the Alzheimer's services of the capital area.
The Swamp Pop Music Festival with Supreme Chevrolet.
Louisiana's country station.
100.7 The Tiger.
This is a house call. This is a follow-up appointment. This is a diabetes checkup. This isn't just more convenient care, it's more advanced care. This is innovating healthcare at Louisiana's #1 hospital, Auctioner.
Miller Lite has more taste and only 1 more calorie than Michelob Ultra.
After further review with Matt Moscona, presented by Insurance Network of Louisiana. Call for a free quote to see how much you can save. 293-0450. After further review with Matt Moscona, ESPN Baton Rouge, New Orleans, Alexandria.
Down the stretch we come, final segment here on a Tuesday edition of AFR, presented by Insurance Network of Louisiana. One thing left to do, find out what we're betting on tonight. I'm for Otter Locks.
Otter Locks, presented by Bocage Barbershop in Bocage Village, serving the Bocage, Goodwood, and Town Center area since 1959.
So we turn to the one and only, the incomparable and often incomprehensible, the man who just keeps on cashing tickets. The Yacht Father himself, Jimmy Yacht. Otter, how are you?
S-E-C. I heard you chant back in the studio, baby.
Only thing I'm chanting is
you pull up for those rebels, baby.
Only thing I'm chanting is cha-ching. That's the only thing I'm chanting right now. Give me that bell, Muse. Ole Miss, money line. Carlucci with a winner last night as well. I tell you, doing God's work here, just trying to pay for your kids' college. All right, Otter, what are we looking at tonight, man?
Hey, retirement or college? Both. Carlucci and Odd.
Let's go,
baby.
Let's go. All
right, you want the best bets? You want the whole shebang?
I want all of it. Of course I do. But let me know what the best bet is.
The best bet is the Philadelphia Phillies. Gibson, former Ranger, pitcher for the Phillies, he's done pretty good. By the way, they won 15 of 18.
How about that?
Perez's overall numbers are good, but check out the last three starts. 18 innings pitched his last three starts. He's given up 27 hits. So he's given up a ton of hits. His ERA should be higher than it actually is. I think the hot team, hot bats, going on the road against Texas, plus money. The dog, we're going with the Philadelphia Phillies as the best bet.
All right, best bet of the night. How about it? Otter likes the Phillies. All right, that's.
You like the Philly fanatic?
I'm a little indifferent, honestly. Tonight, I'm a little in the game itself. I would love for the Phillies to win, but you've got a little Calici on Calici here with Aaron Nola against Josh Smith, who's back in the lineup tonight for the Rangers.
Well, Noah's not coming out the pen tonight.
Well, I understand that, but he's still on the roster. So
yes, he is. Yes,
anyway.
he is.
All right, what else we got tonight, man? Yeah.
Okay. Another dog. White Sox. White Sox tonight. Dylan Cease. He's been pretty good his last three starts. And against Gosman, sorry, Kevin, neighbor, but we got to face it tonight.
Was that a little flex? Letting everyone know that you're neighbors with a Major League Baseball player who happens to have signed like a 9-figure contract?
Hey, man, look, you got to flex at some point at this stage. Have you seen my hairline?
This betting thing is going really well. All right, what else? All right, White Sox tonight. What else?
And then another big underdog, plus 80, 75, the Detroit Tigers. Brisky against Hill. Rich Hill does not hit that soft throwing left-hander. Not good in Fenway. Brisky the last two. He ain't giving up a run in combined 12 and 2/3. So live dog. Sorry, Musso. We've been on to Boston a little bit as of late. Not tonight. We're fading the Red Sox, taking him. My buddy Dave Koken. He likes the over 9 Pittsburgh Cubbies. Swarmer is. He should be in Double-A somewhere. So
wait, I'm sorry. Give me this again. I'm sorry. I was writing down Detroit. So you like Cubs Pirates over 9? I'm sorry.
Correct.
Okay.
Correct.
Cubs Pirates over 9.
And College World Series game over 13.5.
All right.
A little smorgasbord for you, huh?
Let's see. Chicago.
Philly fanatic. You more of a Bernie the Brewer guy? Slide down the slide.
I'm trying to get all these bets in right now, Otter. You gave me a wait. Tell me your College World Series bet again. I'm sorry. I'm trying to write it all down and get my bets
over 13.5.
All right, we're going with the over. Right.
Win has shifted. at Charles Schwab. Really disappointed after by Notre Dame. Full disclosure, I did have Notre Dame. I thought the reliever had only 57 batters. He'd be ready to go. They just fell behind. They're not good when they fall behind. And they were really weak at the plate today and really messy in the field. So Notre Dame is out, and kind of a good scenario for Jim Schlossnagle and the Aggies because they used about as little of pitching as they could have possibly done today. So they'll need a lot.
Sorry, man. Where are you tonight?
Burnside salad. Mike Anderson, oysters.
Mike Anderson Seafood. Get you a Burnside salad or some good old oysters there. Go see the Otter.
They got a guy at the bar right now. I mean, he looks just like Chuck Woolery with a little longer mullet. Looks like he could be a mascot.
All right, I gotta go. Otter, let's cash some tickets again tonight. Thank you as always. We'll see you tomorrow.
Let's go.
Get out of here. All right, that's Jimmy. Game Time with Jimmy follows us if you're not in Baton Rouge online at 1045ESPN.com. Love telling you about Relief Windows and ReliefWindows.com. 288-8138. 288-8138. Someone texted me earlier today and said, hey, does Relief Windows come to Youngsville? Yes. They go all over the Southeast. Give them a shout. Relief Windows and ReliefWindows.com. Windows, door siding, Relief Windows and ReliefWindows.com. Muse, what'd you learn today?
Marlon Taylor's a Harlem Globetrotter.
Paulie, what did you learn today?
The Harlem Globetrotters have a draft.
What did you learn today, Matt?
True. 14% of you lunatics answer your phone when you don't know the number that's calling. What's wrong with you? See you tomorrow.
AFR.
Hey, remember, if you want to place your wagers for all the picks the Otter just gave you, Major League Baseball, the College World Series, you can do so with the DraftKings Sportsbook. Download the DraftKings Sportsbook app and use the promo code Baton Rouge. Here's why it's relevant. Right now, the Stanley Cup Finals are underway, and DraftKings and the DraftKings Sportsbook has an amazing offer for you. Download the DraftKings Sportsbook app. Make a $5 bet. Pick either team. Avalanche, Lightning, doesn't matter. Make a $5 bet. Win or lose, doesn't matter. They're going to give you $100 in free bets at the DraftKings Sportsbook, but you've got to use the promo code Baton Rouge. So download the DraftKings Sportsbook app. Use the promo code Baton Rouge. Use the promo code Baton Rouge. Bet $5 on an Stanley Cup Finals matchup. Any winner, no matter the result, you get $100 in free bets. 21 and older, physically present in Louisiana. Availability varies by parish. Eligibility restrictions apply. See DraftKings.com/sportsbook for full terms and conditions. Licensee partner Golden Nugget, Lake Charles. Gambling problem? Call 1-877-7-STOP.
Bayou Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram has new 2021 Jeep Wranglers and Jeep Gladiators on our lot now with $5,000 off MSRP. And all new Bayou vehicles come with a 1 million mile powertrain warranty. If you need sales or service, the crew at Bayou is going to do right by you.
Follow us on Twitter at 1045ESPN to cast your vote in the Citizens Bank and Trust poll of the day. Vote daily inside Off the Bench, Hunt, and Hill, the early line. And after further review, Citizens Bank and Trust brings you the poll of the day via Twitter at 1045ESPN.
Eli's always been into grilling. It took us a while to see it, but the signs were there.
What are you doing, Eli?
I knew grilling was my thing. I have been talking about it throughout my career.
Happy with the results?
I am. Got the new grill from barbecueguys.com. It performed great.
My advice, as I always told my boys,
do more of what you're born to do.
Barbecue Guys, for those who were born to grill.
You want cheese on your burger, Pops?
I'll take a little cheese.
Crime has serious consequences, but anyone can make a mistake. If you find yourself in trouble with the law, know that you have rights, and it's okay to demand them. The law offices of O.C. Brown are here to protect you and your rights. Felony or misdemeanor, DUI or drug charge. No matter what